Your aunt was a fine woman.
Yes, I think she was. I wish I knew more about her, but she lived far away and we didn't write to each other.
Well, she was a very quiet person, but she was very smart and very well organized. And she wasn't poor when she died. And I think she must have liked you very much. If she had not liked you, she wouldn't have included you in her will.
And you said in your letter that I was in her will?
Yes, that's right.
I'm surprised. I never expected that she would leave me anything. I would have expected that she might have left me a little something if I had visited her or I had talked to her. But we didn't communicate with each other, so I didn't expect it.
Well, let me read the part of the will that applies to you. Here it is. And I bequeath the remainder of my estate to my nephew, who I believe has a good heart.
That's nice of her. But the remainder of her estate, after she has given things to others, that won't be much, will it?
Oh, yes. It's about $1,350,000.
Why would she leave you $1,350,000?
I don't understand it. If I had visited her every day, if I had taken her out to a park, if I had cooked meals for her, I could understand this. But I never did anything for her.
Could you have done something that you had forgotten?
No, no way. She lived in Houston, and I lived here. I never had a chance to do anything for her.
Well, are you sure this isn't a dream?
Ow! No, I'm not dreaming, but I will not believe this is happening before all the money is in our bank account. Until then, I won't do anything different. Hey, guess what? Guess what? The money is in our account. I just asked at the bank and they confirmed it.
What money? The inheritance from your aunt? All of it? All the money the lawyer said?
Yes, all of it. Isn't it amazing? What shall we do with it? Of course, we can spend it. We can buy the things we want.
Well, but shouldn't we save it?
Do you remember what we wished for? What we said we would do if we had enough money? Well, now, this is one time in our life that we have enough money. So we can do it. Let's do it. Now we can buy a big house, a Jaguar car, and lots of clothes. So let's buy them. Now we can live the life we have always wanted to live. So let's live it.
Well, should we spend all of the money? Shouldn't we save some of it?
Let's save some and spend some. If we save it all and we don't spend any, then we'll spend the rest of our lives in that dump. I'll drive this piece of junk until we die, and you'll wear those rags that you're wearing now until you're old and gray.
Okay, you're right. Let's save some and let's spend some. Our new life is beginning!
That's right.
hard to believe that we have this beautiful limousine now. And we have a chauffeur to drive it.
Yes, isn't it nice? If we didn't have this car, we would still be driving that old van.
And it's hard to believe that we have our big house now, too. It's what I've always dreamed of.
Just think, it's all ours. If we weren't living there, we would still be living in our little house.
And look at our clothes. If we didn't have these clothes, we would still be wearing those old clothes that we used to wear.
That's right. Thanks, Jim. Please put the car in the garage. Your work is finished for today. We'll drive the Mercedes-Benz tonight.
Oh, what a beautiful house. House we've always wanted. It was a wonderful restaurant, and it is fun to shop in expensive stores. Do you ever think back to the days when we were poor?
Yes, sometimes. I'm glad we don't live that way now. Aren't you?
Yes, I am. But still, I do think about it sometimes. We did have a lot of fun, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Maria, we're going to go change clothes, and could you please bring us coffee on the veranda?
Yes.
Have you noticed that we don't see Bill and Francis much anymore?
Well, I hadn't noticed. But you're right. We don't see them much now, do we?
No, we don't. They don't call or come to see us often like they used to. And our other friends don't see us much. I wish they visited us more.
Do you miss them?
Yes, I do. I think that if we didn't live here, they would come to see us more. Bill said that he doesn't feel very comfortable here.
Really?
You know, this house is costing us a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
The taxes on it are $8,000 a year.
I know.
And the electric bills aren't cheap either.
Well, we can afford it. We have the money.
You're right, but I'm worried about the future. We could be saving money for our old age instead of spending it on this high living.
Yes, we could.
And if we weren't living in this expensive house, we would have more money to help people, like the poor, the sick, and the hungry. We could do that if we weren't spending so much money on the house, the car, and these clothes.
Yes, that's true.
I think we're being selfish. You know, I would feel a lot more comfortable if we had our old friends back.
Welcome, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Easter weekend. It is Easter this weekend, right? Yeah, it's Easter this weekend. Heck yeah. Right on. The stone that the angels rolled away. When I was a kid, I used to listen to Petra because I was all Christian and stuff. I used to think of that stupid song. How's everybody doing, man? I hope everybody's having a fantastic weekend so far. I know I'm having a good weekend. Man, today was so lazy. I had the laziest day. It was beautiful. Like, I didn't do jack shit today except eat Hardee's. That's literally all I did. I slept and I ate Hardee's. No. Like, I jumped on Deets on the Streets panel for like a second, for a couple minutes, and we discussed some idiot. Yeah, it was fun to talk about that. But yeah, so then I got to chatting with somebody, and then we ended up kind of checking in on this stream here, and honestly, I was planning on having just a full-on lazy day, if I'm being totally honest. Like, I was planning on just keeping this thing going, dude. Like, it was great, just nothing but underwear and greasy food. It was fantastic. It's beautiful. But then, then I was like, wait, what is she talking about? Once I saw this, I was like, what is she talking about? And yeah, so there's this kid. Legally, he's not a kid. Okay. Actually, let me just get into it. We're just gonna get into we're just gonna get into the Betty stuff here. She's working hard to look good for you all, so give it a thumbs up. You know what I mean? Because just check it. Just she's got that Christian love written on her face right there, people. That man Easter, I'm grateful for Jesus, for God to have sent his only son to the earth. This is what that face screams to me. Is that she is just gratitude that God sent his only son to this planet full of us sinners here, and sacrificed himself for all of our sins so that we could all be forgiven for our sins, and that and then 3 days later, 2 days later, really, he rises from the dead, right? And moves the stone away, and moves on to sit next to his father in the kingdom of heaven, right next to the throne. And that right there is a face that shows pure gratitude for that. That's all I see. I don't know what y'all see, but that's what I see.
Stuff in their courts, they don't want the videos, they don't want to be recorded making mistakes. They don't want what goes on in their courtroom to be disclosed to the public. It's a transparency issue for me. If you've got nothing to hide, show the public. I.e. a public trial. And you cannot tell me that there is not federal funds that go into those courthouses or into those communities. They do. That means at the end of the day, we're all taxpayers for each and every community in and around this country. Therefore, we are their public and their tax.
No, idiot. That's why you have state taxes. That's why you have federal taxes. Thought you knew this stuff, Betty.
Taxpayers. So that's hard to get around. And so, they're having problems with the phone system. If they would open it up, to people and mute it as necessary, that would be more accommodating and to make their lives easier. I mean, at the end of the day,
How would it make their lives easier if they're going to be more susceptible to idiot callers like you? Why? How in blue perfect fucking hell is it going to make their life easier?
judges and clerks and legal assistants have better things to be doing than managing phone systems. Can we agree with that?
They have better things to be fucking doing than answering the phone for jackasses like you.
So it would be my suggestion, if judges looking or watching this, allow video.
It's not a suggestion when you're a Karen. When you're a Karen, it's a fucking demand, or you're going to have to deal with me standing outside of your place of work with a bullhorn yelling and screaming while it's bedazzled. And I'm wearing a pink school crossing guards vest that lights up outside your job.
Video. You know, if you have one pooled reporter in there, you don't have 15 news outlets in there. You'll have one. You can put the other news outlets in overflow rooms where they can stream right from the pooled source. It's better for the courtroom. It doesn't clog the courtroom up. It doesn't cause the distractions that having umpteen million people sitting in back rows texting and tweeting while in your courtroom. And it helps with the phone lines from being clogged up in the courtroom. The judge for
it helps with it being clogged up.
You know, was very smart. He chose to do a WebEx. WebEx can handle thousands of people on him versus the phones, and he was able to control the video feed. So
what the fuck are you talking about? Wait, is she suggesting that she be allowed to call into the court? During proceedings? That can't be what she's talking about. Wait, no. Wait. That can't be. No. You can't be this stupid. Like, I mean, I knew you were stupid. Okay? Like, we all knew you were stupid. There's everybody in here is in this chat is aware of the fact that you're fucking dumb. But that stupid to where you actually believe that there should be a system to where you get to call into court and what? Make requests? Hey, I'm on hold. What a fool believes. To reason away. Oh, yeah. Hi. Hello. Yeah. Could you tell the defense to object, please? Yeah. I'm watching and I'm like, I can't believe that he didn't object to the no, right. Yeah, I'll hold. Oh, on what grounds the defense wants to know on what grounds you wanted them to object? Well, just object. Just say object. Hold, please. What a fool. Dude, lady, what the fuck are you talking about? The WebEx for the Letitia Stalk trial exists simply so that it is controlled and it's not made for dramatic purposes. It's out of respect for the family because, yes, it's you know, a public trial, sure, but you can't, like you said, he's trying to find a way for all of us who have been following this case and actually care about Gannon and care about what happened to him, excluding you because you're just jumping on a fucking bandwagon and streaming it and leaving and not adding any insight whatsoever because you don't know shit about the case. But that the purpose of the WebEx is for people who actually care to follow the case. Simple. Very, very simple. It's not so you can unmute your mic and pull a what happened with the Jared Lysick situation all over again. It's not so you can do that.
When he didn't want people to see who was on the stand, he could click that camera off and you get just audio. And then the stuff that was able for the whole entire public to see, then he would turn it back on and it would be back. That was a very smart for somebody that doesn't want a whole lot of cameras and news in their courtroom, doesn't want to clog up their phone system. I would say that's a great alternative.
Can you stop saying phones? Why do you keep saying phones? Phones ain't got nothing to do with nothing. What the fuck are you talking about? Do you believe that shit in your mind and in your heart that people in that courtroom give a fuck about you being able to get a hold of anybody in that courthouse? Like, can you seriously be this delusional? Why do you keep talking about phones?
The way that they're doing in the Letitia Stout case. So good morning, afternoon, TD. Tammy, it's nice to see you. Wow. Ashley, it's nice to see you. And
like, you managed to make yourself look unbelievably stupid before the shout outs. That is a YouTube first. I've never seen that before. You managed to make yourself look ridiculously stupid before the shout outs. That's amazing.
And Jay, we're also streaming on the new True Crime with Betty channel. We're building that up as well. We're just making sure, because there are animals out here in the streets of YouTube that just want to cause destruction, doom, and gloom. And even though I don't commit or violate terms of service, they can say I do, and they can say it's this, that, or the other, but when we actually go to look at the terms of service, it doesn't say what they think it says. So we don't violate terms of service, but because they have, basically, I don't know why. Again, Bullhorn Betty doesn't talk about other creators. We don't make, full sessions on other creators. We have for, wannabe drug thug, but she came after Bullhorn Betty pretty hard for no reason. Don't know her, never worked with her, never spoke to her. You would think that somebody with integrity would at least speak to their subject and get to know them or understand them before they run with horrible stories. But they weren't really looking for the truth.
You mean like you do with literally everyone? Hold on, people. I got to play that back again because you guys know it. I can't believe my fucking ears.
Full sessions on other creators. We have for, wannabe drug thug, but she came after Bullhorn Betty pretty hard for no reason. Don't know.
Okay, so I'm assuming she's referring to Queen Bee.
Her, never worked with her, never spoke to her. You would think that somebody with integrity would at least speak to their subject and get to know them or understand them before they run with horrible stories. But they weren't.
Now, I don't know all the facts about the Queen Bee situation. Okay, I stated my opinions on what she was saying, what all of these idiots were saying on their channels, and I took it with a grain of salt, of course, because I don't believe anything that comes out of the mouth of this person or any of the idiots that she runs with. But hold on one second here, Monica UK, thank you so much. Happy Easter, Glare in chat. Thank you so much. Happy Easter to you too. Yeah, I all I could think of is I mean, there was no basis for her saying that somebody was dealing drugs to children when I saw no charge of someone dealing drugs to children. I'm sure that would have been a charge. So she's sitting here right now saying that she's telling someone before they know anything about them to actually check with them. Did she reach out to Queen Bee? I'm sure she would have been. Queen Bee's panel is always open, and I don't want to speak for her or anything. But from what I've seen of how Queen Bee runs her channel, hold on a second. Somebody gifted memberships. Pam Washington gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much for that. Hazley I 6755. Southwest 4x4. No, that wasn't you. You did not. You were already one. Laura Lee Texas Tiffany, Shelby Lynn, Gerda. Right on. Congrats to all you guys. Thank you so much. Pam Washington. Now, I don't know too much. I like I said, I did not look into the Queen Bee stuff too much. I saw some of the charges or whatever. There's questions on whether or not it's even her. I don't even know what's going on with that. But I do know that Queen Bee, as long as I've known her to have a channel, has always had an open panel. I mean, unless she deliberately doesn't have an open panel for whatever reason, she might be running her live stream and whatever fashion that particular live stream is run. But as far as I know, she's always had an open panel. So at any given time, whenever she's talked about Betty, she's had the opportunity to go up there and speak on the charges that that Betty has had. The charges in which she has denied and said, that they were lies and so on and so forth. But besides that, I've always, the invite is still valid. Anybody that I know that has ever covered or reviewed Betty, the invite to be able to speak on her own behalf has always been there. All you got to do is reach out, even to those of us who don't open our panels. So I don't know what she's talking about, because she didn't give anybody who she's made these insane accusations at a chance to defend themselves or speak on their own behalf. That's what she's saying here, right?
Weren't really looking for the truth. They were just looking for somebody to pick on to make their ratings go through the roof.
Right.
We're starting to see some of her viewership dropping because the drama is dropping. So
okay, this is what you call projection, folks. Okay, this is what you call projection. Don't know about Queen Bee's viewership. Don't care about Queen Bee's viewership, but I have noticed a very, very a distinct difference in her viewership. Betty has not. I had Toast on this channel a few days ago, and we discussed something. And one thing that we went over was that she is basically she's got this much of her channel audience that is I wish I had a pie graph. this much of her channel is there for true crime and think that she's actually doing anything worth a shit and likes to give her money. And then you have the rest of the pie that is there for the drama and just waiting for the next meltdown. It's just that simple. That is absolutely happening, because how is it that she got, now this is a fact. Yesterday, I was live streaming the Gannon stock case. I was live for 8 hours. 8 hours. Okay. Now she was live for like 12. All right. But 8 hours, she got double the views that I got. Okay. We both streamed the Letitia Stout trial, right? She got double the views that I got. Okay. She has more subs, and she got half the likes that I got. How is that even possible? She got literally half of the likes that I got. So, I mean, I haven't checked today, but that's what it was yesterday. And I was like, wow. That's because nobody gives a fuck about her opinions as far as these cases go. Everyone's waiting for the next meltdown. She knows that she knows. I know she listens. I know she does to me. I know she does. So when I said that we haven't seen the bullhorn in a while, have we? somebody sent her a not so subtle gift and made her a custom one. Like, hey, when are we going to see the Bullhorn and Bullhorn Betty again? Because this is boring. You suck at cases. The only thing you are good at is going out there and yelling and making an ass of yourself and interfering with cases by harassing people. Where's that, Betty? The Bullhorn Betty, the one in your name. Where is that? We haven't seen that yet. But we're about to see soon, people, soon, because an opportunity for just that has recently presented itself to her. We'll get into that later.
They don't, and it just proves if they don't have the drama, they can't make the views, because their content, their actual content and investigation into these cases is horrible. They don't have a good batting average. They keep thinking everybody is innocent, and they want to fight for these despicable people that commit some of the most atrocious crimes because they're criminals, and they feel bad for them because they somehow feel.
Okay. Now, I don't know about Queen Bee. I don't know if she's covering this Letitia Stalk trial at all or anything like that. I don't know anything about that. I know that I've been talking about this case for 3 years. As a matter of fact, I would dare to say that I have continued to bring it up. Every time there was a murder and we were hoping for a trial, I would at least mention the fact that Letitia Stalk has not gone to trial yet. And I've been doing that for 3 years because I have been anxiously awaiting for justice to happen in this case, because I followed this case from the moment that I saw that he was reported missing, which was probably that Monday. Or Tuesday. I would say realistically that Tuesday, when he was reported missing on Monday, on the 27th of January. And that case really, I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know why it just really got to me. And when I see someone like her who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, and then just streaming this case on a monetized stream and doesn't add any type of insight, doesn't fill anybody in on what they may have missed on. I mean, I'm telling you, I understand getting up and walking away for a minute. You've got things to do. Nobody can sit in the same spot for 8 hours. I get it. You know what I mean? But for the entire time that I was streaming that case, I did the best to be engaged. And I'm telling you, I was close to tapping out towards the end of it. And we got 8 weeks to go. But towards the end of it, you hear me speaking faster because I'm like, yeah. And I probably got to pee real bad. And I'm just like, bloop, bloop, bloop. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is what's going to happen. This is what I'm expecting in the days to come of the trial, blah, 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 blah. And then I end I end the stream, and I'm like, fucking thank God it's over. Because when you're streaming for 8 hours straight, unless you have literally nothing better to do, which I have seen happen before, it feels like work, and you're exhausted. But not if you get up to go sit at the beach with some stupid "don't tread on me" flag, and get your face baked by the sun. That's not the same thing. Let me set this up and leave it streaming while I go hang out at the beach. No, that's not what covering a case is.
And just from our justice system themselves. That's not my problem. They can't say that about me, right? They try to say I've been arrested 42 times. So wouldn't I be sympathetic to the criminals? I got a brain cell in my brain and realize people
not
do
if you're
things to their
delusional.
children. They just have to.
Not if you're delusional. Now there she is again, denying the 42 charges that we've all seen. We've seen the charges. We've seen her mugshots. I mean, I don't know why she's sitting here still acting like they didn't happen. We've seen the 42 charges. That's the whole point, is the fact that you have the audacity to sit up there and deny it. After we've seen the proof, we've seen the receipts, we've seen the evidence. And you sit up here and you act like they didn't happen. That's what's really funny to us.
Catch up. That's kind of how it works. They have to catch up. So we don't make days and days of just nonstop beating somebody, clubbing somebody over the head, having a bitch session.
Just embrace it. People only care about the drama from you. And isn't it pathetic? Like, isn't it fucking sad that she's not even taken seriously as a drama channel? Like, think about that for a second. Like, she is literally known for yelling and whining. She is not known for any insight. She's not known for saying, she's not just known, just this much of it is known. Is she known for being for doing shitty things and horrible things? But mostly she's known for not knowing what the fuck she's talking about. She's known for being wrong and loud at being wrong. A loud wrong person. That is her legacy on YouTube. The loudest and most consistently wrong person on YouTube. And this is why we talk about her, because she victimizes people in the process. Yeah, look at that. I mean, if you just took the negative of that photo and put it on a fucking album cover, dude, and as long as that music was metal, you'd sell records.
But they do, and that's their content. But again, they're back to the complaining because complaining sells spaces on their channel. Complaining helps them with their viewership. But they do, and that's their content. But again, they're back to the complaining because complaining sells spaces on their channel. They're back to the complaining because complaining sells spaces on their channel. They're back to the complaining because complaining sells spaces on their channel. Complaining helps them with their viewership. And when she doesn't complain, her viewers drop. So she might as well take herself out of true crime because she's not true crime. She is drama. And her channel is a drama channel. And if you don't believe me, just go on.
Now, I'm pretty sure Queen knows that. I'm pretty sure she knows that she's a drama. I don't think she denies it. That's what's funny about the two of you is you deny it. You think that she considers herself and prides herself as being a true crime creator. And I don't think that she's ever really considered herself that, to my knowledge. I don't know. Brianna, thank you so much. All these years of education, hard work, dedication, and all of us trying so hard to better ourselves and our careers. And all we ever really had to do was fall upwards on YouTube. Who knew? Betty's a hero. She's a pioneer, folks. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Brianna. This is very funny to me. This is very, very funny to me.
On over there and check it out yourself. All they do is
she's talking about someone else who has made a living and made their channel all about complaining. That's Betty saying that, guys. Just okay. That's why I played it back a bunch of times, because I want you guys to really grasp that. Just Betty is sitting up there talking about how somebody is pissed off at the world because all their content is complaining.
Was complain. They're not advocating. They're not advocating one bit.
Like you are.
So getting on to the avocation aspect and the true crime aspect in true HullBorn Betty fashion, we're going to go ahead right on into what we have to talk about today. Lots of news is coming out about Harmony Montgomery. I don't know how many of you guys are seeing that. Police went to a particular area to search in Massachusetts. They had a reliable source that basically said that they believe that Harmony Montgomery is at this Revere, Massachusetts. So law enforcement from Massachusetts and New Hampshire spent Friday searching the marshland in Revere in connection with the investigation of Harmony Montgomery. The problem is even though they were out there and they exerted quite a bit of resources to look for this because they got a credible lead, from my understanding, I don't think it's been published just yet on mainstream media, but it should be forthcoming, that they did not find anything in their searches. I haven't seen that come through yet. I could be missing something, but I know for a fact.
So where did you get that information from, Betty? Are you in St. Louis? I am also LGB. No, I was born there though. So yeah. I love my Cardinals and I love my Blues, just so you know. But no, I don't live there.
That they have not found anything out there.
Well, I want to know how she would know whether or not they found anything before mainstream media would. And why does she think anybody would believe it?
There to that was Harmony Montgomery's. That doesn't mean the area out there is not where they need to be. Maybe this very well is the area she's at. They just have to look more because the work that they did Friday was not fruitful. They didn't get anything. They didn't get a bone. They didn't get a tooth. They didn't get a clothing. They didn't get hair. They didn't get any of that. So we're still in search of Harmony Montgomery. For those that are not familiar with Harmony Montgomery's case, Harmony Montgomery disappeared sometime between November 28th and December 10th in 2019. Now, mind you, nobody knew she was gone in 2019. Police didn't learn of her disappearance until roughly 2 years later. And officers from Manchester, New Hampshire Police Department worked with Massachusetts state troopers and other agencies to search for Harmony Montgomery after receiving this lead. Harmony Montgomery's father, Adam Montgomery, actually has been charged with second-degree murder in connection with her disappearance. And that came after they executed a search warrant on the last apartment that they lived in. And they took out faucets, they took out portions of the floor, they took out tile or carpet. I'll just pull it up and read what they said. Julio. Anyways, he did Gangster Paradise. He was the one that sang Gangster Paradise, which is in one of the Dangerous Minds is the name of the movie that I'm referring to, and it was with Michelle Pfeiffer. Dangerous Mind. That was their theme song of that movie. That was one of my favorite movies of all time, and that Gangster Paradise song was Julio's song. That's his song. So if you want to know what kind of music he sang, that's a good song to point you to, because he actually received a Grammy Award for that song. And I'm pretty sure that the Dangerous Minds movie actually was also an award winner of some type. I remember that movie, and it was really, really good.
It wasn't.
And I still watch it every now and again on Netflix
or, it wasn't.
Amazon Prime. Whenever it does, it does make its rotation on their platform. But just a good movie. But that's Coolio. And yes, he's now passed. He's now gone. And drugs. So, we've got to, as parents, we've got to be careful who our children idolize, because some of these people, they look normal on TV, but they're anything but. Their lives are a mess. They have mental illness. They're on a mess of different types of drugs from pharmaceuticals.
Technically, she's not wrong about Dangerous Minds being an award winner. Favorite actress in a drama, Michelle Pfeiffer got the Blockbuster Entertainment Award for that. but yeah, that's it. Yeah, best rap solo performance for Coolio for the Grammys, but the movie didn't get anything noteworthy at all. Just so you know.
Pharmaceuticals to street drugs. And we're teaching our children that is where you want to be. You want to be up there. That's the top. That's not the top. Movie stars are becoming Skid Row to me. When I look at a movie star, I'm looking at them now in a different lens, asking myself, what kind of drugs are they on? What kind of problems do they have? I'm no longer looking at them and saying, God, what it would be like to be living in their shoes. Oh my goodness, I can't wait.
Yes, you are.
I don't look at them like that at all.
Yeah, you do.
You know, it ain't happening. I don't want their life. Nope. I do not aspire.
Literally everything that you do is to be recognized for. You don't do anything to actually make money, right? Because it's not. Yeah, you only make money because you don't want to work. That's why you grift money, but it's not because you're greedy and you're even ambitious. You simply don't want to work, and you want to put yourself in positions that get spotlight put on you, but you don't want to actually work for it. So what do you mean? Like, you're saying that you don't want a celebrity lifestyle, but yet you put yourself in positions to where you manipulate yourself to be recognized regardless. You demand to be recognized. You don't, work hard and then put yourself in a position to where you have to be chosen to be recognized like an actor would, by getting good at a craft and then auditioning in a very competitive industry. You wouldn't do that. What you do is you force yourself into situations with a bullhorn and a loud mouth and a completely and totally clueless sense of anything. All just to put yourself in a position to be seen. That's it. And you're talking about how you don't want to be. Come on. You're not fooling anybody.
I hope that I work hard and I make it, and I hope one day that I have all the nice things that they have. But no, I do not want to be them. Never in a million years. You watched Molly yesterday? Oh, that's right, because she was on Kick. I just signed up for Kick today, so I haven't even subbed to her channel yet. And I was hoping that this live would go over there, but it looks like we're going to have Restream. So I'll use, whenever I need to do stuff over on Kick, I'll use Restream. I'm not sure if I'm really happy with Restream because it's the same setup as this. And I remember Dolly telling me one time that he uses OBS. I know he kind of converted back.
You're okay. First of all, it doesn't matter what you use. Okay. It doesn't matter if you use StreamYard, Streamlabs, OBS, whatever the fuck the other one was that you used, Kick, it doesn't matter. It's not going to improve your viewership because you are getting the viewership that you have, whether you like it or not, what you've worked for. And yes, I realize I just used the term work, but everything, this is the cool thing about YouTube. That's why it's called YouTube. YouTube, because it is basically whatever you make of it. I understand that there's kind of some weird things where you're thinking, some people are like, man, because there's creators that I'm like, I don't fucking know why this person doesn't have a shit ton of subscribers. I have no idea. So there's people that you feel like they should have more subscribers than they do. And then there's people who have millions and you're like, why do they have millions of subscribers? It makes no sense. So I understand that there is that aspect of it to a certain degree, but generally, normally, it's like anything else, and it is whatever you make of it. It is whatever you do with it. You being in the position that you are on YouTube with your current viewership, Betty, is you. For me, it's me. I don't get to blame anybody for a lack of viewership. Of viewership. I don't get to blame anybody for that because I I get back what I put into it. I see these things as a result, and then I'm just grateful for it. And if I want to grow, then I'll do things. I'll change certain things, or I'll improve certain things in order to, that's the better word to use. I will try to improve things so that my viewership improves. I don't expect without giving. So when you are sitting there and you're streaming from your bed, you're not doing anything to present yourself personal appearance wise. You're not doing anything to present yourself in a way that you actually want to tell your viewers that you want to look best for them. You do nothing to even control that. You stream from your couch or your bed, and if not, the background that you put the most effort into for your channel is your office with your printer in the background that looks like it was already outdated for the movie American Psycho. And the only real effort you seem to put into the background there is by taking a cardboard cutout of a murder victim's face and putting it up like she's like she's a movie in a video store in 1991. Super disrespectful. And here you are asking yourself, looking like that, and then you think that the problem is the streaming software that you're using. That's not the problem. I could promise you that. That's not the problem.
Back to StreamYard primarily, but he was using OBS and set all his stuff up on OBS. And I was hoping that he would train me on OBS, but I'm actually looking no other than YouTube, right? No other than YouTube for some training on OBS. So we might be able to keep on StreamYard, but run everything through OBS. I'm not sure, you know, all that techie stuff. Again, I'm not a techie person, despite what people try to tell you. So I really don't know. Let me get over here and see what else we have over here. We're just going to go through. Let me just share my screen. Actually, there's a video there that I wanted you guys to hear. Yeah, let me just turn this video on. Hold on a second. I really want this video to be up. I think this is it. Yeah.
Dude, I could just see her like with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, like answering a door with one of those, just answering a door with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth in 1983. And some 13-year-old kid knocks on her door wanting to play with her kid, goes, "Hey, can Jimmy come out?" And she's just like, "Oh, fucking Jimmy, huh? You're that hooker Rhonda's kid, aren't you? Tell her she sucks." And one of those one-piece things that just come up to here and shit, you know, just gross, just drinking fucking straight vodka fucking at noon. Just look at her face, bro, and her hair and those earrings. Like, that is exactly what I picture. You're that fucking hooker Rhonda's kid. Tell her she owes me $20. It's not my job to buy all the blow every night.
Let me share this. I'll change my screen name. I just want to move it on up. Move it on up to the east side. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Shut the fuck up.
Kenmore Square is as alive now as it's ever been, with an authentic mix of tradition and innovation blending into each other to form the secret sauce that makes our city special. This neighborhood, a destination,
And it is blurry on my end, so it's
the youth and passions of people drive achievement and success. You can always count on us to show you the way home.
masked state troopers, along with Manchester, New Hampshire police, scouring
mom, and at this point they know she's not with the mom because the mom is on the phone saying, hey, where's my daughter, because I said she's gone, as opposed to her being sold or alive. Jail at this moment, waiting trial for the first application may be different. Believe me, that way was brutal. One of them is an adult. That, to me, my friend, is a big problem. Individuals. And of course, there's no way I wouldn't bring up Gabby Petito. I'm sorry, I'm not. And this came, want to know, weeks after I'm going to be stepping into the Trent Laircan case. It's one where this boy was brutalized by people he perceived as friends, and those friendship almost lost him his life. He has been in the hospital for 16 days and still no arrest, despite knowing exactly who was at the party and who was in the photos while he was dying in a chair. I mean, that's what it was. He was literally dying in that chair, and people are behind him, proud of themselves, laughing and giggling as they're taking a selfie with him completely unconscious. It was very hard to see. Watching the video was very hard to watch. And
okay, now I have not watched the video, and no, he's not dead. He was hospitalized, and there is a let me just play you guys this real quick.
The 10 o'clock news. Dozens of people rallied outside a hospital in Glynn County to show their support for a local teen recovering after an apparent case of vicious hazing. The Glynn County Police Department identified that teen as Trenton Laircan.
A video of Laircan surfaced online showing him slumped over in a chair and being sprayed with water. He was dropped off at the hospital with high levels of drugs and alcohol in his system. Police say he is now alert and talking. News4Jax reporter Alicia Hatcher joining us live from outside the hospital. Alicia, people in the community are saying none of this should have happened.
Joy, the community came together so this case could get the attention that it deserves. I did speak with some people that know Trenton, and they said that he is a very nice person and that he's easy to talk to. And it's just so sad that this happened to someone like him. Hundreds of people gathered outside of the Southeast Georgia health system with signs, candles, and photos of Trenton. Throughout the night, they shouted "Justice for Trent" and asked the police to bring justice to the family. Organizer Thawanza Brooks says they want Trenton and his family to know they're not alone in this.
It's very important that he knows that he has more friends than them, and that everybody out here, and from what we know, that Trent lost his mom. But if he looks around this afternoon, he's got a lot of mamas out here. He got some grandmamas out here. He got some people that he can actually trust. That's actually his friend that's going to lead him into the right direction.
We're here for their family. Everybody in Brunswick's here for their family. We're all trying to help Trent's family to get him back on his feet and to make sure that they understand that Trent's not alone. You know, we're all here for him.
The Glynn County Police Department did release another statement a few hours ago that said that they are still investigating, but they did not say if an arrest has been made. Coming up at 11, we'll hear a statement that was read by the organizer from the family. But for now, reporting live in Glynn County, Alicia Hatcher, Channel 4, the local station.
Now, one thing that Betty doesn't understand, okay, is you missed it. What we just saw was your opportunity. Okay. The community already came together. They came together and they were just simply peacefully coming together and letting law enforcement. Nobody was criticizing law enforcement. Nobody was yelling and screaming that something was wrong and unfair. They weren't protesting. These people were not protesting. This was a rally. Difference between a protest and a rally. Okay? These people were not complaining. They were simply showing Trenton support, showing Trenton and his loved ones support and letting law enforcement know respectfully that we want justice. We'd like something to be done. Not, hey, you fuckers aren't doing your job and blah, 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 blah. Nobody was doing that. They're just coming together to let everyone know, to let him and his family know they're not alone. That's it.
And it's very disturbing to me. So I have decided I'm going to be going to Glynn County out there to find out what's going on and bring more awareness to this case. And you know what? We may need to start making phones ring at the police department. We may need to make phones ring at their city council. We may need to do something to assist, pushing the sheriff. But you know what? Then we may get out there and we may find out the sheriff is doing absolutely everything in his power to bring justice for this man, which is...
You don't need to go out there for that, though. You don't need to go out there for that. Okay? What you need to do is simply understand that these cases take time. Here are some facts about this case, folks, because those of you who are not aware of it, this is going to piss you off a little bit. I'm not going to get too deep into it. I've looked into it myself, but I don't have enough to be able to cover it. Okay? And I have been very, like I described to somebody before, kids gloves when it came to this case. Cherry made me aware of this case. It tugs at her heartstrings. And as soon as I read about it, I was like, yeah, this is terrible. But basically this kid was at a party, and he's not a kid. He's an adult. Technically he's an adult. But he was hanging around a bunch of younger kids. He was at a party, and the thing you need to understand about this case is every single person suspect, every single assailant, quote unquote, is a minor. Okay. So this is a very, very, very sensitive thing. All right. I have been following it more or less, but I have not covered it, even though I thought about it. I was thinking about covering it, but I came to the conclusion, let law enforcement just, I don't want to stir it up. It doesn't need the attention right now, because it's not like this guy and it's not like it's not already a high profile thing. There's no need to get into a stir about it, because there's more than one person of interest in this case, and they're all minors. They're just kids themselves. And it could be a situation where they just are, things got out of hand with alcohol. These kids should not be drinking in the first place. They're not old enough to drink, and they got out of hand with alcohol and things happened. Not excusing the behavior, but what I'm saying is this is a matter for their parents, and this is a matter for law enforcement. Simple. That's it. Okay. Some people might be saying, why hasn't anyone been charged yet? There are several people that are guilty of this crime. Now, it takes time to build a case. I'm guessing that they're probably trying to get all of them tried together. They're trying to set something up to where they can try them all together. If that is the case, in theory, that would take some time. They have to collect evidence. They have to build a case. And then once they have a case built, they will start making arrests. Okay? But you also have to understand that the people that they want to arrest are children. Technically, in the eyes of the law, they are children. So this is something that you have to be very, very careful when talking about it and how you handle it. And Betty's the last person that should be getting involved in a case like that, because she's going to get down there and she's going to start doing her bullhorn bullshit, and she's going to piss people off. And that's all she's going to do. She's not going to be bringing awareness to anybody, showing support. That opportunity already happened. The community already came together. Nobody's mad. Nobody's rallying in front of the TV, in front of the police station saying you guys aren't doing anything. They're not doing that yet. Because these people understand that these investigations take some time and they're just kids. And it doesn't excuse their behavior, but it's a sensitive issue when you're dealing with kids.
What we would love to see, that they're out there bringing justice for this man, and we have nothing but to be able to report on it and report the good work and the great work law enforcement is doing. That would be my hope when we get there. Believe me, that is my hope. I'm hoping that I can report back to you that, you know, arrest will be made in the near future. That's what I hope to happen. It's been enough days that they have a good idea.
I can guarantee you that arrest will be made. That's a guarantee coming from this channel. I can guarantee you that arrests will be made. At least one. At least one. Because that entire community wants justice. And they want to make an example that that's not okay. And if your kids are engaging in that kind of behavior, then raise your kids better. This is what's going to happen. That is the common consensus in Glynn County, Georgia. So I could guarantee that somebody's going to get arrested. Now, it might not be the kind of charges and sentence that you might want, but because these are minors, that might take effect. And you're just going to have to deal with it. But another very sensitive issue is there are people in the background of these pictures and of these videos, because remember, this was a party, and not everybody at this party participated in this despicable behavior. There are some innocent bystanders, and those innocent bystanders are minors. This is the most important thing to remember in all of this, and why we're talking about Betty involving herself in this. Because Betty has a track record of just throwing insane accusations at people without having any evidence. And she's already talking about how she's seen this video. And if she gets a hold of a video or something, or kids' names, she goes around, starts knocking on doors. She goes around, starts hanging around and talking to people's kids. And those kids give her a name. And then she goes to some innocent kid's house and causes trouble. I mean, that's not okay. Because some kid does not deserve, and some kid's family does not deserve to get harassed because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. A kid being a kid at a party, and they had nothing to do with that crazy behavior that was taking place that victimized Trenton. And just saying, man, she's going to go down there and she's going to be fucking with people's kids. And I mean, there's a lot of parents in my chat right now. That happens, what are you going to do? You know what I mean?
Who is responsible for this crime and who is not. I can tell you that there's only a limited number of people inside that home. And so getting to the bottom of this should be fairly easy to do, in my opinion. Now, again, that's an outsider looking in with conjecture. I have no idea what they have, what they don't have, and or what they need.
You're not only an outsider, but you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're an outsider looking in with absolutely no law enforcement or investigative experience whatsoever. You have no idea at all what it takes for them to build a case, to investigate and then build a case. You have no fucking clue at all whatsoever. So you don't get to say or judge at any given point whether or not you approve of the investigation and how it's being conducted. So already she's sitting there acting like she's some sort of authority, and she's going to go to Glynn County and make sure that the cops are doing their jobs. Bullshit.
all I can do is advocate for this young man and ask the audience if you know anything about it, or if you know anyone that knows anything about it, or if you know anyone that was there when this incident or another incident happened. We're going to be asking for those people to stand up, speak up, and call law enforcement and tell them what they know. Because every day you keep your mouth shut is every day this man has to suffer more than he should. And we want to be out there and we want to advocate properly, and we will definitely advocate lawfully. But that advocation may be different depending on the situation
already being
that we walk
advocated
into
for.
when we
He's already being advocated for.
get into the community. Again, I would really not like to have a repeat of Savannah, Georgia. But if a repeat of Savannah, Georgia is necessary, then I'm happy to oblige. I don't want that. I'm telling my audience I don't want that. I don't want to have.
Then why are you going out there
at all?
Why are you going out there? Like, let's say in theory she wasn't completely and totally full of fucking shit, right? What is going out there going to do? Let's say you are trying to just make sure that law enforcement is doing their job because you're somebody who they need to answer to. Let's just say that's the case. You can't do that from a phone. And I'm not encouraging her to pick up her phone and start fucking flooding phone lines. I'm saying there's nothing that she can do that can't be done from home. What is going down there going to do other than give you an opportunity to stream and yell and scream outside somebody's house or outside a police station? That's the only purpose going down there is going to do. And they don't need you doing that. Nobody needs you doing that. Trenton especially does not need you doing that. Thank you for the super sticker, Marilyn Moon Mayerhofer. Thank you so much.
I would like to have respect from the police chief and respect from the community at large.
Why don't you respect the police chief and the community at large first? Show them respect and trust that they're handling it. They don't need your outsider ass going over there from Florida to Georgia. Because all you did in Georgia the last time you went was cause a shit show. And people ended up in handcuffs. And by the grace of God Almighty, you didn't end up in handcuffs. What do you think you're going to do? Because everybody else in the world is simply respecting that man, that young man, and law enforcement and that community to handle this amongst themselves. He does not need you to advocate for them.
Well, I'm here. I know that there are people asking for help. The family would like help. We're not here to disrupt anything. But I'm hoping that I find that this police chief is doing everything humanly possible, and his police officers are doing everything.
The last time, and I believe his name is Chief Hadley, the last time you accused a police officer or a police chief in Georgia of not doing his job, he was really busy doing his job while you were doing that and making his job harder by being out on the street, yelling and screaming and tampering with suspects and possible witnesses. That entire time. Because while you were yelling and screaming into your camera through a bullhorn, while you were doing that, Chief Hadley was out there getting results and retrieving Quentin Simon's remains. While you were up there trashing him, saying he wasn't doing anything. Marilyn Moon Mayerhofer, thank you so much. I'm so here for that shirt. I can make merch for you. You guys know I'm nostalgic. I'm a kid. Imagine me at 10 years old seeing Teen Wolf for the first time. Okay. If I'm 10 years old and I'm watching Teen Wolf for the first time and I see Styles wearing this shirt, the first thing that me at 10 years old is going to think is, I want that shirt. And now 30 some odd years later, I have it.
Everything in their power humanly possible to bring justice for this man. I don't want it being swept under the rug or acted like that this is not a serious situation. You've got young adolescents almost killing somebody.
Right.
You have young adolescents almost killing someone.
Right.
They need to be held accountable so it
will
never
be.
happens again. Period.
They will be.
And these parents, I'd like to know, where the hell were you? Why are you letting your kids just run afoul all over the place?
Because, Betty, what happens when you're a teenager and people like you, you get invited to parties or you throw parties. That's what happens without parental supervision. And sometimes you're a teenager who actually does well in school and actually earns the trust of your parents and gets to go out and party with their friends without parental supervision. Sometimes those kids make mistakes because they're kids. Sometimes those kids are more susceptible to peer pressure because they're kids. And I'm not excusing their behavior. I'm saying that the parents, any parent who has ever raised a teenager, I don't care who you are, has had a teenager who fucked up. Has had a teenager who fucked up to where somebody could have gotten hurt if they didn't get hurt. Right? Everyone here who was ever a teenager at some point fucked up to where somebody could have gotten hurt. And either they did or they didn't. But at some point in your teenage years, you fucked up. And somebody could have gotten hurt. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I mean, Betty is either the worst criminal, because if she gets 42 charges, right? I mean, but see, we could assume that she got caught every single time she fucked up. Okay. Is it believable that she's stupid enough to have done that? Yes, absolutely. But the likelihood leans more towards that she fucked up a lot and just never got caught. Hell, I fucked up a lot, never got caught. A lot of people here fucked up a lot, never got caught. Right? And most of us go, holy shit, man, something really fucked up could have happened. I'm never doing that again. And then they just grow out of it. You know? But the thing is the irony here is most of us at teenagers, at our teenage years, learned not to do certain things so that we wouldn't grow up to be like Betty. That to me is really, really ironic. It's really funny. Like, I mean, you could take Betty and use it as a parental template of education. You could say, hey, listen, this is what you don't want to do. Okay. You want to be 45 years old and complain all over the internet about not having a man every time you get drunk? Do you want to have literally nothing better to do in your personal life than to show up to town meetings and address them just for the sake of addressing them with nothing to say? Do you want to make a skeptical of yourself? Do you want to make a life where all you actually think you deserve recognition for making a spectacle of yourself at some crime scene where the police are already taking care of it because you didn't want to do well in school and do what it takes to be successful? Is that what you want to be? Because you could do that. Like, The irony here is she's yelling at the parents for raising their kids wrong, yet like the majority of those kids, even though they fucked up and even though they're probably going to have to do a little jail time, they'll probably still end up more worthwhile than her by the time they reach her age. That's just fucking sadly true. I mean, let's just face it.
Good parents. I don't care what they're, just because parents make a lot of money doesn't mean they're good parents. I just want to make sure that that's very, very clear. So let me get over here. There we are. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and just go up here and see if we have any questions. That whole entire time, I wasn't able to see what was going on here because I was on the other screen. I will tell you guys, we're making leaps and bounds in the office. I still have to reconfigure it. I just mopped one section. I moved a lot of stuff out of the office so I can clean it up and reconfigure the office. I'm pretty sure the wall behind me is going to be very plain until I start getting stuff up on the wall. But all that stuff that you saw, the water cooler, the other bookshelf, the printer, all that's going to be reconfigured and pushed in front of the desk. I think I'm going to have my long desk along the wall and the short desk where my long desk. I've been working off the long desk, and I don't want to work off that anymore. It just to me, it's becoming a massive dust collector of papers. So I'm actually going through all the papers, organizing the papers as well.
Why are you still printing shit? You know what I mean? I mean, maybe it's just me. But like, I mean, you could just fucking like refer to your phone for anything now, you know?
And making sure that they're in the right place in the right order, because I've had this filing system. Like, I knew that this pile on the desk exists, and I know.
Oh, how many computers have you grifted off of people, dude? How many computers have you grifted off of people? And you know that like there's something called a hard drive in those things where you actually can store things. Like how often do you really see a filing cabinet nowadays? You know what I mean? Like, they exist, you know, but like how often do you see somebody going, fuck, you know what? I need a new filing cabinet, you know, because like this is a filing cabinet right here, bro. You know, I'm talking to you guys on a filing cabinet right now. It's so weird that she's like, fuck, all these papers, they're collecting dust.
Everything related to my cases is somewhere in that pile. I just have to find it. And I've been comfortable with that. You know, when even a year and a half later, when we're talking about the Summer Wells case, I'm able to go over there and pull up a map that we got from Hawkins County Public Records. That big 11x7 map of their property, you know, I was able to pick that up. And then again, that was from the work we did down there. So we're doing some really good work. And you know what? And this is the bad part about it, is that because of these hate channels and causing all this disruption, they're the ones rocking the boat with law enforcement. It's not us doing that. It's them utilizing those resources that they're pointing the finger saying we're utilizing them. But you got to remember who's making those calls.
Wait, what?
Who's making those calls to those law enforcement agencies? It's not us from us being out in front of that house. It's the haters online utilizing those judicial resources and utilizing those law enforcement resources.
Wait. Now I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. I have never reported a channel to YouTube, or I've never done any of that shit. Okay? Tried to get a channel shut down, none of that shit. But I'll tell you what. When this little boy who is missing, we covered it for a couple of days. I was really hopeful. There's a lot of names. I apologize, but the name of the little boy escapes me right now. But we went over it. We covered it. We talked about it. And then the little boy was found in an alligator's mouth, right? While that was happening in her neck of the woods and JLR's neck of the woods, JLR was live and he was fucking like, look, a piece of plastic. Look here, JLR investigates. And he kicks over a piece of plastic and that shit fucking set me off, man. So I called the local police department and I was like, hey, listen, you got somebody running around there. If you just Google the fucking guy, you know, he's running around there and he's like trying to get as close to this investigation as he can. And he's kicking over pieces of garbage saying, oh, look, I wonder if this belonged to this person. That's somebody who is potentially directly interfering with an investigation and tampering with possible evidence. That shit's not okay. I wanted this little boy found safe. That's all I cared about at the time. So I was like, listen, I just want to let you guys know that this is happening right now. Right. And then like 10 minutes later, some dude from another police department ends up like, oh, look, Jonathan Lee Riches. Is that you? Huh? I watch your shit all the time. And he's a detective and he shakes his hand. And I'm like, wow. I guess these motherfuckers don't want to find this kid. That's fucking great. So yeah, that infuriated me. But she's sitting here trying to say that we are wasting resources by letting them know that an investigation is possibly being tampered with. That there is this person who you need to keep an eye on and make sure that they don't start tampering with witnesses and start tampering with possible suspects because this is what they're known to do. Okay? That is not wasting resources. Okay? Like if you see that and you could see that they are potentially fucking up a case and fucking up the chances of actually getting a victim justice, then absolutely, yes, you should do your due diligence and call law enforcement and let them know. Absolutely. Now, if you're just like, I don't like this lady, you know, or you guys aren't doing your job. Yeah, you're wasting resources. You're absolutely tying up phone lines for nothing. You guys aren't doing what you're supposed to do. Telling everybody to call the Humane Society in fucking Tennessee because of the dogs outside of the Wells home who were perfectly healthy. They were fine. Like the queen of wasting resources is up here talking about people wasting resources. It's great.
Meanwhile, pointing the finger at us, saying that we're doing it. Another lie and misconception from the hate channels. And again, if you're part of these hate channels and you want to condone that, then keep condoning that. But when it comes up and burns your butt, don't come over here crying to Bullhorn Betty that you should have known, because I've told you for a long time that these people are garbage. They're toxic and they need to be removed from YouTube. They absolutely do. If I would have known about that, and let me be honest, if I would have known about that mass strike campaign and got those pieces of paper, believe me, I would have went down the list myself and did my own little thing. I would have. I mean,
the list is out there, Betty. Why don't you just do something then? You know what I mean? That bullshit list is out there, bro. We saw that shit. I made a post about joking about how my name wasn't highlighted and I was all pissy about it. Like this bullshit, ridiculous list is out there. And and I haven't even looked into this person, but the person who made the list, from my understanding, is a complete and utter fucking moron. And and she's talking like whatever the fuck she's doing is somehow credible in some way. And it's just killing me right now because she's up here saying that these channels need to be shut down. Yet, I mean, I can only speak for myself. I'm not calling for anybody to shut her channel down. I'm not calling for any of that shit. I just sit here, like, the whole nature of me talking about her is I'm here for it. I'm here for it. As she is bound to get arrested at some point. She is bound to have her channel taken from her at some point because YouTube is bound to have to look over her content at some point. And then they're going to go, what in the fuck? That is just going to happen. It happened to MGL. It may not happen right away like you guys want, but it's going to happen. YouTube does not want to be in a monetary partnership with people who do the things that these people do. They just simply don't.
And that's no lie. I would have participated. That's why I know that did not come from our camp. That's why I know it didn't come from our camp, because I never received it. And of all people that people would want to get all those names in the hands of would be me. I guarantee that. There's a lot of small channels that have reached out to me thanking me for exposing wannabe drug thug. And not only that, but it was despicable. She's sitting here trying to talk about all these other kids and, you know, how she likes to help. The reason why she likes to help the parents when they do something bad in front of their kids or hurt their kids is because she's done the same thing. I got a police report here from 2019 where she decides to beat up not once, but twice, beats up a girl outside of a store, goes inside of the store, and beats her up again in front of witnesses. But that's not the most despicable part.
Wait, was she not wearing pants?
She's committing this felony in front of her children. She's committing this felony in front of her children. She's teaching her children it's okay to put your hands on somebody because you don't like what they do or say. That's what she taught her children. She also taught her children it's okay to go to jail. No big.
And here you are sitting here with your 42 arrests record and crying about not being able to have kids. And what's really ironic is we already talked about this. Everyone's gone over that. Like, man, every time it's never, ever like not been mentioned. Whenever the subject of her having been arrested 42 times comes up, somebody always has to throw it in there. Man, thank God she doesn't have kids. And here she is talking about somebody else who has kids getting arrested.
Deal. Great advocate she is. She's not somebody I care for.
I don't think Queen Bee has ever claimed to be an advocate, to my knowledge.
We know who did it. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if those kids involved have parents in the justice system. There's a reason they're starlings. Yeah, I agree with you, Willow One, and that's what I said. But you know, this area, and we're going to go into that area, and we're going to look at that aspect of it. But yeah, these kids. Now, granted, just because people are poor and can't afford, you know, a better place to live, doesn't mean they want their children in the thug life. But unfortunately, there is a lot of, especially in a lot of these areas, these kids are living in ghettos. It's not because they have horrible parents. It's because their parents can't afford anything more, or their parent, or in some cases, it's an aunt or a grandmother raising these children. You know, and it's so easy for them to want to feel accepted. You know, they have daddy issues too. A boy that has an absent father is looking for somebody to fill that hole of that absent.
How the fuck do you know any of these kids have absent fathers? What the fuck are you talking about? How do you know anybody has an absent father when you don't know these kids? Who are you talking about? And how do you know they live in a ghetto? What the fuck are you talking about?
Father, and sometimes they go to the path of least resistance, and these drug dealers and gang members are telling them, we love you, come on over here, we'll take care of you. Here's $50, here's $150, go buy you those shoes you want that your grandma can't afford for you.
Wow. Thank you, Brianna25. The kids have parents in law enforcement, and here we go. It's Sammy Smith and Kylie Rodney all over again. That's what she wants. This is her Kylie, right? Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, that shit's just not gonna fly. I promise you that. The community in Glynn County is not the same community as whatever the fuck that county was in northern Cal, Nevada County.
Here, I need you just to go drop this package off down the road. I'll give you $200 when you get back. I take care of you, right? I'm doing good for you, right? Great. Well, I have a problem with this boy down there. Are you tough enough for this? Or are you grown? Are you a grown man? Or are you a little boy?
What is she talking about?
Are you a grown man? Or are you a little boy? Because I need you to take care of something. You got what it takes to handle my business? They groom them. They groom them. No matter what, joining a gang ends up in death. Yeah. Live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Why is she talking about gangs?
It's no different than the mafia. It's no different than the mafia.
Oh my God, dude.
Except the mafia at least had, people that didn't have a third grade education. Some of these boys that are running these gangs, dropped out of school because their parents are on drugs and alcohol. Nobody's, they had to go out on their own, as either stay home and be abused and have no food, or get out there on the streets and work. Well, it's easier for a young girl to get out on those streets to work than it is for a guy to get out on those streets and work. So what do guys do? They turn to the drugs to get out on the street to work. Because if they don't get out on the streets to work, they don't get to eat. They don't get clothing. They don't get water. They don't get their necessities that they need, that their parents are supposed to provide, because their parents are so diluted and in a trap house themselves.
Oh my God.
It's an ugly cycle that I've seen with my own eyes.
No, you haven't. Unless you were fucking hanging out in a trap house.
Good morning, big boy.
Without
nice
any
to see you.
pants.
Hey, Snow. Nice to see you as well.
Beating somebody up.
Caroline, Lady 7 Up, Justin. Blessed Mama. It's nice to see you guys here. So, that case is very interesting for me. I did, I was talking to my best friend because I haven't seen her in a couple weeks. And I was talking to my best friend and I was telling her, because today, usually it's either Friday or Saturday that I'll go and spend the day with her. But because I'm going to be leaving in the near future, I got to pack. I got to still pack up, get this house cleaned up. So I can't stand coming home to a dirty house, which I came home to a dirty house like the last 2 times I went because I haven't had time to clean. So I'm cleaning the house now and reconfiguring the office, and then I want to get on the road. So long story short, I was talking to my BF.
Okay, stop. Fucking. If anybody has time to clean, it's you. Like, what are you talking about? You got all the time in the fucking world. You don't work. You don't do nothing. What are you talking about? True Crime Time, thank you. She's combining 4 different people who have the same name, all different birthdays, middle initials, and ages. She hasn't found the real Queen Bee yet. That's what I keep hearing. I mean, I don't know if it is her or not. I mean, I don't care, because I don't care to know somebody's past. That if somebody simply wants to be anonymous on YouTube, they have every right to be anonymous on YouTube. And that's it, period. Unless she's up there saying, this is my full name, blah, 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 blah. Which is what Betty does, ironically. Then just fucking go after them as far as using your platform to speak up against them. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you got to do. It's some cowardly bullshit to go real life on people, especially people who don't want their identities. They don't share their identities out there because they have loved ones. I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't fucking matter what someone's past is. This is why it doesn't matter. You going and digging, it doesn't matter what their past is, because if you go and you start going real life on these people, you're also not only affecting them, but the innocent people that surround them. That's not fair. That's not right. You're victimizing innocent people. When you dox and when you go real life on people, you're victimizing innocent people. That's why it's fucked up. That's why we say don't do it.
and I was explaining this case to her of the 3 in Marion, the Marion 3. I thought it was Miami, and I realized it must have been my dyslexia when I was reading, because I did read Marion County, and when I saw Miami, it must have been Marion that I was reading backwards somehow. Either way, we did pull up all the right information. I just don't know what my brain was saying and thinking. But I was telling her, I'm going to be going out here, and there's definitely gang ties out here, because they believe this was gang affiliated, and they picked up two gang members, and looking for the 3rd gang member as we speak right now. And so I said, when I get out there, I most likely will. Hey, Tammy Crimes, nice to see you, hon. Hey, Rusty Kettle. Whenever I get out there, I most likely will be live the majority of the time, because I'm going to be out there alone. We know that there's definitely gang activity, and I'm going to be discussing that gang activity while out there. So it might,
Okay. First of all, there's no gang activity involved in this situation with this Trenton person. Okay. There's no gang activity involved. These are just a bunch of kids, privileged kids, sitting around, getting drunk, no supervision, and decided to be assholes, and ended up victimizing an innocent person, and they're going to be held accountable for it. It's the whole community is in an uproar over it, and yet they're being very respectful. They're not protesting, they're rallying, but they're rallying in support. There's a difference. They're rallying in support. They're saying we're a community. We just want to let everyone in the elected officials in our community know that we as a people, we as your constituents, would like to see something done. Just know we're out here and we want this done. That's it. That's all they're doing. But let's just imagine she's right for a second. So Betty's going to go out there and take on some Florida gangs, huh? Okay.
Make some of the gang members a little upset about my coverage. So I will be live the whole time I'm out there. I don't think, I'm not really too worried about the gangs and whatnot. And it is in the state of Florida, and I will be coming back from Georgia. So I'll be okay as far as protection and whatnot like that. But still, this is a dangerous job. We are not the channels that sit in clack and quack and stay behind and don't like to shower for days and just want to talk on and complain on these things. No, we get out there. We give you guys a front row view of what's going on. KTL.
No. First of all, the only people that complain is you. Nobody else covering these cases are complaining. They're simply giving facts and sharing their opinions on said facts. That's it. That's all they're doing. That's called covering a case. It's what a bunch of YouTubers do. And it's an effective method, and it works, right? The only person that I've ever seen complain is you. And not only are you complaining, you grift money out of your audience so that you can complain in person. But make no mistake, Betty, what you do is nothing but complain. That is what Karens do. That is why we call you the Karen of all Karens, because Karens do nothing but complain. You found a way to go beyond that do nothing but complain. It's crazy. Like, you made it literal. Like, you could talk about a Karen that you see in some Karen YouTube video and you go, oh man, that lady probably doesn't do nothing but complain. That's speaking figuratively. You actually have managed to make a living from it. Literally doing nothing but complaining. You literally do nothing but complain.
LC Bell, nice to see you, and welcome for being a newbie. We give you a front row view of the cases, and we go to the places. So, and we're planning on doing that for all these cases. So I've got to get all the research done before I even leave here, because I'm one of those people, I don't like having to stop. Now I will, because when we get out there and we learn new information, the information that we may have, at our disposal may have changed. So we'll be changing that up, but we'll make sure we keep you guys all abreast of everything and let you guys know where we are going, what we're finding out, if we're learning anything new. And again, my hope is not Chatham County, Georgia, the same crap that my hope is me going in here and finding out that everybody is doing everything they humanly can for this boy, and that they are working extra super hard, and they are being transparent, and they're communicating their results and the things that they can communicate with the public. That's what I would like to see coming from them.
Okay.
Now,
why do you say that? Like as if you're some sort of authority that they need to give you that information, that they need to live up to your standards. The community's on it. I just showed you a rally of people. I literally just showed a rally that took place of people who are saying, hey, we hope you guys do what needs to be done because we as a community support this man. That's it. Orion Artist, thank you so much. I think it is also important to keep in mind, not all a-hole kids have a-hole parents. Another reason this Trent situation is delicate. Very true. Excellent point. Excellent point. It's not always the parent's fault. Sometimes you get a kid who's just a dick. Yes, it happens. Sometimes you get a kid who's an asshole. You do everything you can, and then you hope that they just grow out of being an asshole. I've known one or two in my days of knowing friends who have kids. I've seen it. Seen it. Where I've actually literally told somebody, dude, that's not your fault. Kid's a dick. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, it happens.
I don't want them to have to divulge stuff that goes to the heart of their investigation or the heart of their case, or something that can be, in like when I go to Marion, Florida, I know me and that sheriff, we're already BFFs. I'm not even worried. I know he's doing everything humanly possible, and he has done. And look at him. He was able to get these three people off the streets lickety split, right? And it goes to show you the difference in good sheriffs and police officers and ones that are dragging their ass. And I'm starting to feel like Glynn County is dragging their ass.
Wow.
And I don't like it. And I can guarantee if this is all the same that we had to deal with in Chatham.
You thought Chatham County was dragging their ass too, but were they? Because they weren't. You thought Chatham County was dragging their ass. You thought Chief Hadley was dragging his ass. Lockpicking gal, thank you so much. Sometimes you get a kid that tries to strangle you as an adult. Yeah, true. Thank you. But you were sitting here accusing Chief Hadley of dragging his ass. And meanwhile, he had a very, very select team of experienced investigators carefully combing through 2 million pounds of garbage and refuse. 2 million pounds of it. While you were saying nobody was doing their job, and they produced results. While you were saying that they weren't doing their job, they produced results. And justice is currently taking place for Quentin Simon.
County, me and the chief are not going to get along. Me and the chief aren't going to get along. I'm hopeful that we don't have, Chatham County 2.0.
She's already sealed
I'm hoping that
she's already sealed it. Me and the chief aren't going to get along. She's already hyping herself up for getting out there and causing trouble and starting shit. She's creating a situation, not observing it and assessing it. She's creating a situation right now.
That we have a good working relationship and we can go in there and do some good and advocate for this boy.
Never do any
calm
good.
Our audience down and say, look, everything's being done that can humanly be done. They've got some great leads. They've got some great progress. An arrest is forthcoming, right? Now me and the police chief are buddy. Our audience is all happy because we're getting justice. No need to even pull out the bullhorn. No need to.
Dude, listen, lady. Understand that everybody involved in this case, all of the people that are being accused of this crime that are on videotape, right? The evidence is there, granted, but they're all minors. You don't think that situation isn't complicated? It takes time to build a case. And again, as I said, they're probably trying to build a case to where they can charge them all together, but they're also probably looking into whether or not they can charge the parents. That takes time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot more time than just investigating one person. You're investigating a shit ton of minors, and you're investigating their parents because those minors, by law, are not responsible for themselves. And you have to just let law enforcement do their job, because there's also innocent bystanders that were there at this party that didn't participate in this horrible behavior. And you don't know who's who. And you going out there talking about, we're going to start holding people accountable. Rah, 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 rah. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And you don't know what you're doing. And you're going to victimize people and call it getting justice and advocating. Advocating for a grown fucking man who doesn't need you to advocate for him.
To have any problems, we're going to be buddy, and this is going to work out well. That's what I'm hopeful for. But for whatever reason, in the pit of my stomach, I don't feel like that's the way it's going to go. I really don't.
That's because you're planning on making it go another way.
Nobody is really
because you're
reporting on this
worthless
case,
otherwise.
except a few.
I love that. She's sitting there going, I feel it in the pit of my stomach that it's not going to go nice and easy. It's because you're already planning on it going sour. It's already going nice and easy. It's going fine. It doesn't need you. But you go out there, you're already planning so that you can justify your shitty actions that you plan on engaging in while you're out there. That's it. You're up here building a situation that doesn't need you. Totally, Toast. Totally. Totally.
Organizations, and that's a shame. This boy deserves justice.
It's a man.
And if they're not going to pay attention to this case, we're going to make them pay attention to this case.
They are paying attention to the case.
And if it offends anybody, it's your problem, not mine.
Already made national news.
Period. You don't like it? Again, not my problem. Not my problem. So we're going to go out there. We're going to do... Oh, Snow's been part of the team forever. Come on. I would say welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, but you already been part of the crazy crew we call the Coffee Club. Right? You're already part of it. You're already part of it. Love you. Thank you, Snow. And Carla, thank you. I love you, honey bunny. I love you. God bless you. God bless you. So we're just going to go do our thing. And if haters want to come out there, more the merrier. I'm fine with it.
Of course you are.
I'm fine with it. Don't touch me.
Of course you are. You want someone to yell at. You're only trying to create a situation where there's drama because you are a drama channel. The only interest that MGL had in her was the fact that Betty found another way to involve drama with crime cases. She saw a way to expand what she was doing. It's the only reason. Because they technically do the same thing. She just gets in your face about it. She actually goes out there and interferes with cases.
That's all I can say. You can say whatever you want to do, but keep.
I'm a baffled. Thank you so much. Great show tonight. Love your chat. People with sense. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're here.
Your distance from me, don't touch me, and don't threaten me or make me fear for my life.
See,
that's the
that's
only thing you have to do. If you're a hater and want to come out there, come out there. I don't really give a shit. Never have. Freedom, you have a right to have your voice heard just like I do. Just stay away from me. When you start telling me that kids don't exist that was murdered, you better.
And I'll be honest
with
you guys. Think about this. Now, if anybody is planning on addressing her directly in person because you know where she's going to be and you show up there to counter protest, you're only adding to what she wants because she's not doing anything out there. And I know it seems like you'd be going out there in your mind. You'd be like, well, that's why I'm going out there, because she's fucking hurting the situation. But all you'd be doing is adding to exactly what she's doing. Most of us already know that. I'm just talking to the few out there that are not putting that together and not going beyond the thought of, I want to do something to stop her. You're not going to stop her. You're only going to add to the situation. Best to let law enforcement deal with it. That's it. Best to let law enforcement deal with it. Because when she actually interferes with an investigation and it affects that investigation, she will be held accountable. I can guarantee you that. That will absolutely happen. And all you have to do is just sit back and watch. Just sit back and watch.
Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. So that's kind of the plan that we've got going on here. Again, I'm hoping that we can go and work well with the public information officer. Oh, bless Mama from Texas. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm hoping that we go out there and we have a good working relationship with the public information officer out there. I hope we open a good line of communication with the state attorney's office there. And I hope that I don't have to call you guys in from Georgia and tell you guys I need you in Glynn County Sheriff.
She knows. The fucked up thing is that she knows that if she shows up and actually gets a hold of a state attorney or somebody that works in the state attorney's office or the sheriff's department, they're going to go, fuck this fucking lady. She knows that shit. And then she takes pride in it. She goes, oh, you don't want old Bullhorn Betty showing up there. Like, they don't want you showing up there because you're just making things worse. You're not making things easier. You're not lighting a fire under anyone's ass. That's not what you're doing. You're just making shit more of a pain in the ass for them when they're already doing a job that you know dick about. You don't know anything about what it takes to actually conduct an investigation and build a case. You know nothing about it. You consistently show us this.
Department or a police department. That's what I'd hope not that we don't have to do. But in preparation of it, just in case, because I'm a planner, we're bringing signs. I'm having a poster of
he's a planner, y'all.
Of Trent made that says "Justice for Trent," and that's going to be. I'm going to put that on a. I either got to bring my big wooden poster, or I'm going to put that on something like tape it to one of the thicker poster boards, so I don't have to keep it because it's when you get the picture poster, it's rolled, so you need to flatten it out. Otherwise, you're having to carry it one hand on the top, one hand on the bottom, which we don't want to do. So I'll have to figure out how I'm going to put that, but I have a funny feeling I'm going to have to do.
Yeah, because, in my experience of making these things, I couldn't stand it. I mean, I'm out there in front of the Wells house, for instance, and I made this thing, and it just kept trying to roll itself back up, and the beavers and the badgers and all that shit that I was protesting in front of couldn't read it because it just kept rolling itself back up. It was a pain in the ass to just hold it open because, all of the Wells stray dogs hanging around couldn't read it. So, shit.
a thick like one of those corrugated posters and put it on there and tape it on there so we have it so it stays up. I have a funny feeling that's what I'm going to end up having to do with that. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, I'm not going out there. This is not a Leilani Simon thing. You know, it could turn out to be that way. I mean, we do have one of the assailants' names from a prior arrest. But again, I don't want to do that. I would like them.
Notice she never mentions the victim. Everything is Leilani Simon, Leilani Simon. Nothing about Quentin. Nothing about justice for Quentin. Just Leilani. This is a Leilani Simon situation. No, dude. Like, as far as those of us who actually wanted justice for this kid, we knew who she was. We knew her name. We even knew she was responsible because law enforcement said that she was their suspect. But those of us who understood the case and wanted justice for Quentin, the only names that really mattered to us were Quentin Simon, Chatham Police Department. That's it. Chatham County and Quentin Simon, because we knew that was his only chance of getting justice. That's it. Period.
To stand up and just tell the police who did what. And parents should be promoting this, because let me tell you something. If your kid was in the house, they almost killed somebody. And that could have been your child. So if your child needs to get...
This is why this requires very careful kids' gloves that she doesn't fucking understand. She has no idea. Because she just said, listen to how she worded that. Pay close attention.
Promoting this, because let me tell you something. If your kid was in the house, they almost killed somebody. And that is because let me tell you something. If your kid was in the house, they almost killed somebody. And that is because let me tell you something. If your kid was in the house, they almost killed somebody.
Okay. That's not true. That's simply not true. Because there were a lot of innocent bystanders at that party, kids who were just trying to attend a party and have a good time. That doesn't mean that they participated in what happened to Trenton. And it takes time to figure out who was involved and who wasn't. It takes time to take witness statements. It takes time to get people to talk. It takes time to get parents to get their kids to cooperate. It takes time to investigate these things. You seem to have no concept of this at all. And what you just said was extremely dangerous. That is simply not true. Just because their kid was in the house does not mean that they almost killed somebody. Even if they didn't talk, even if they didn't speak up and say, hey, that's not cool. Even if they didn't do that, that doesn't make them responsible. You're really playing with fire here.
And that could have been your child. So if your child needs to get a 6 months probation, guess what? Your child needs to get 6 months probation. I don't, it is our responsibility as parents to hold our children accountable, because at some point in their life, we're going to have to send.
Why do you say our responsibility and our children? You don't have any. You don't even know what it's like to be a parent.
Them out in this ugly world and let them fend for themselves, because mommy and daddy ain't going to be there for the rest of their life. And if you don't want to be visiting your child in prison, you better make them be held accountable. If you don't want your child drugged out and an alcoholic by the time they're 25 years old, hold them accountable.
You mean like...
Because rich people have to go...
Because I don't know a lot about her mom, but I know she makes her mom very public and her relationship with her mom very public. And it really comes off like her mom does nothing but enable her. There you go, guys. Take your screenshots. Take your screenshots. I know that the way that she presents her mom is very enabling of her behavior and encouraging of it even. So that's a very dangerous thing. And it's really, really interesting that she's sitting here saying, if you don't want your kids to grow up to be drunks at 25, first of all, 25 is about when you start growing out of being a drunk. That's almost everyone in college. You know, you grow out of it, you settle down, you get married, you start to have kids, you know, but normally you go through the whole college phase and have a good time. You know, I think 25 is when you start settling down, but as long as it's not a problem, you should be allowed to party and have a good time up until you're 25, as long as you're getting your shit done. But why is she talking about that when she spent the majority of her young adult life getting arrested for violent crimes that are alcohol involved?
Their children in prison all the time. All the time. So if one of these assailants' parents are watching, hold your child accountable. You'll be glad you did. You want to save your child? This is how you save your child. This is it. Sometimes in this life, parents have, one shot to get it right. This is that shot for these parents. Because if their kids are this disgusting now, when they get in high school or when they get in college, it's just going to be on steroids. They're going to be too busy trying to make everybody like them. They're not going to be paying attention in school. You're going to be pissing money away.
Wait, what?
Your children are just going to keep getting it. They're going to be too busy trying to make it. Because if their kids are this disgusting now, when they get in high school or when they get in college, it's just going to be on steroids. They're going to be too busy trying to make everybody like them. They're not going to be paying attention in school. You're going to be pissing money away. Your children are just going to keep getting in trouble. Why? Because they know mommy and daddy will get them out of trouble. Well, you ain't going to be there for the rest of their lives.
What?
It just ain't going to happen. In many cases, I went up, Snow. In many cases, this is his thing. I remember I had a friend. He was my best friend. He was my best friend all through middle school. I actually had a birthday a day before mine. And he had a brother that was 2 years older than him, literally 2 years to the date. They both had a birthday on the exact same day. Him and his older brother. And he got really bad. It wasn't in our high school. In our high school, like I said, we smoked pot and drank 40s, listened to hip hop and, had a good time. Parents drove parents crazy, right? We were those kinds of kids, but we didn't really get in a whole lot of real big trouble.
We were real big kid and playing Julio fans.
We weren't doing all this nonsense. We were just being stupid young kids. Well, that manifests itself like many of them. You guys know I went down the hard road, the hard knocks of life with the alcohol, the drugs, and all that other stuff. Well, but there was a limit for me. There was a limit for me, thank God.
I always trip out on people like this that act like that's some sort of badge of honor. I went through it, by being a fuck up. No, bro, like you fucked up. You were a fuck up. A lot of us were, like me personally, I was a total fuck up. I took everything for granted. I wasn't grateful for anything. I was a shithead. But I don't talk about it like, man, I survived. No. It's a miracle. It's a miracle that I survived. But it was because I engaged in behavior that I did to myself. I'm not a product of circumstance. I made decisions. I had the opportunities in front of me. I chose not to, that's nobody's fault but my own. To sit here and be like, I school of hard knocks. I went to the school. No, bro, you asshole. You just decided to say, fuck the world. You're still doing it. You had an entitlement issue that you never grew out of. Just because you don't drink as often, just because you don't shove blow up your nose anymore, doesn't mean that you actually learned from your mistakes. Like, you're just going through life with entitlement and with a clearer head. That's it. That's all that means.
Thank God. He got into the much stronger stuff. He got into the H, he got into the pills. Those are the things I never really ever prescribed to or did or anything like that. And it really took him. And it took him like I'd never seen. And he was doing such horrible stuff. And then he ended up running a car into a shed. You would think, okay, no big deal. He may have killed the lawnmower, right? Well, lo and behold, this shed actually housed it was a, everybody, it was a trailer park. And those people really weren't supposed to be in that shed. People don't sleep in sheds. But the situation was they had no place to go. They were about to get married. They had a baby on the way. So the family kind of made this makeshift efficiency for them out of the shed where it could fit a bed in there. And I think they even had a makeshift air conditioning set up. So they had some, cooling.
Oh my God.
And so when my friend ran off the road and ran into the shed, he actually killed the father of this unborn child, the mother of this unborn child, and obviously the unborn child. And it was confirmed that he was on some drugs. They did blood tests. He didn't go right to jail. In the reports, it said he tried to walk away from the scene, but some people left him there. When the officer spoke to him,
oh my God, bro, I can't believe that you're up here talking about it like you learned from it.
Said he was cognizant, didn't appear to be under the influence of anything. But they did because there was fatalities, they did blood testing on him. And he was under the influence of not only alcohol, but other various drugs. And it was 2:00 in the morning or 4:00 in the morning. I don't remember what.
Like literally every time you got charged with a crime.
Time. It was early morning, ridiculously early morning. But I can tell you that his mom right now is probably thankful that he's in prison.
Bro.
Thankful.
Like, not even 6 months ago, dude, you were fucking bragging about driving to 2 different bars drunk and then coming home and cracking open a bottle of wine and then whining about the fact that you got no D. Come on. Like, really? Really?
Because the way he was going, he would be dead right now. Yeah, the circumstances are bad.
Okay, wait a second. So the lesson learned here is that murdering a pregnant woman and the unborn baby, because it is murder or at least manslaughter, and the dad, that was a lesson to be learned for him to clean himself up. Like, seriously? Like, your concern is him? Like, at least now, he if he kept on going down that road, he'd be dead. Like, who cares? Sorry, but who gives a fuck? He killed a family. The fuck are you talking about? Why is anybody but that family on your mind?
Bad. But I always talk about things happen for a reason.
Thank you, Welsh.
We don't know what the reason for this was. It took 3 lives to save 1, which is sad. But he's where he needs to be.
Wow.
And, I look back. I love him.
It took 3 lives to save 1. And you think that's what?
He's my friend. He will always be my friend. He was my best friend. I had some of the best years, doing teenage stuff. We were a huge group of kids that, just hung out together. And I'll never forget those days. But again, yeah, he was under the influence of narcotics and alcohol. And yes, he hit a shed. But I can guarantee nobody in a million years would have thought that there was a family in that shed. I'm sure if he knew there was a family in that shed, he would have hit the trailer and prayed to God he took out the kitchen. Right? So he shouldn't have been driving. He was driving.
Oh
but
my God.
when I heard you say that about, I'd actually sleep better if my child was behind bars than on the streets with gangs. Yeah. And not only that, but even on the streets with drugs. A lot of parents have had to wake up. Even parents this morning had to wake up to find out their child is no longer with them because of an OD. And it's a pandemic. Seriously, if anything's a pandemic, it's this drug problem we have here. And we've been having war on drugs since
Betty, how do you do that? How do you top every time your shittiness? And nobody would ever have known that unless you just fucking brought it up. Nobody would have ever known that about your buddy. I mean, I understand, okay? People fucking make mistakes and then they clean their shits up. I get that it was an accident, but he was fucking driving under the influence and he fucking killed people because he was driving under the influence. And you're just grateful that his life was saved from it? Dude, what are you talking about? And meanwhile, you're sitting here and now I kind of understand defending the guy to a certain degree. It's somebody that okay, you know him personally and you know that he would never deliberately do anything like that. But he was careless, and in his carelessness, he just didn't seem to care if he victimized anybody. And maybe he learned from it. Fine. But here you are using this as an example. And I guarantee you that hasn't happened in the last 6 months when we know that you've driven under the influence. So how are you up here talking about this with hardly any empathy at all for the family that he killed? And on top of that, acting like this guy learned from his mistakes when you didn't even learn from his mistakes. Because what's it going to take for you to get fucking serious about your own reality and your own self? Is it going to take you victimizing someone that they can't be recovered from, that they can't recover from? Is that what it's going to take for you to realize the kind of shitbag that you are?
I was first born, and it seems like it's gotten worse. So I'd say that the whole war on drugs is a complete and utter failure. And whoever started that campaign didn't know what the hell they were doing. You put an ex-drug addict up there, I bet you we'll take those spigots and turn them off real quick.
That was Ronald Reagan. You advocate for the right and super conservative. It was Ronald Reagan, considered by conservatives to be the best president we ever had. Just saying.
You get somebody like me handling the drug epidemic here, I guarantee we'd have a lot of people in rehab because they can't handle the DTs. And why would
No, bro, you'd have a lot of people in rehab because you do all the fucking drugs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying put Betty on the war on drugs. What she'll do is she'll just do them all. And then there won't be any supply for the demand. Just I vote put Betty in charge of the drug war. Absolutely.
have the DTs because they can't get their drugs. It is killing our children. Absolutely, blessed mom. It is killing our children. So anyways, we did a early morning live this morning, and we kind of griped a little bit, and then we got on to the West case, and now we came here. We covered the Harmony Montgomery case. We covered some updates in the Gabby Petito case. Stephen Smith, we did cover some of the updates yesterday. Nothing new since yesterday had come out.
Billy Jones, thank you so much. You're going to need a drink after listening to this Fruit Loop dingus. Love you. I appreciate it. No drinks for me, not for a while. But thank you. I really appreciate that.
So I just wanted to say hi to everybody. I did try to get this live up on StreamYard to see if we could get it to work on Kick. We can't. So I'm going to set up the rest of my channels on Restream. We're going to have no intro coming into our
That's not going to help.
1960s making drugs fun. I know my aunt was such a hippie. She still has the hippie in her, but she's a registered nurse now. She doesn't do anything wrong. Oh, God bless that woman. But man, some of the stories, right? It's like, wow, you did that. It's like, back in the 60s, man, they hitchhiked everywhere. My aunt left, I think she went from Georgia to California. She hitchhiked the whole way there. Back in them days, those chicks and dudes were
chicks and dudes. Literally, Davis fam, thank you so much. I really need your intervention to listen to her. She's a mess. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
Were ruthless. They had no fear. It was drugs were much cleaner in the 60s. Oh, I bet. Yeah, all this remanufactured and all these chemicals.
Oh, listen to her.
You guys know how I feel about chemicals. I can't stand chemicals. That's why I cook clean. I cook clean. I use clean.
Bro, like her audience is like so geriatric. It's killing me.
Food. I even down to the ice cream. You guys want a good ice? Go to Breyers. Have you picked up an ice cream, a box of ice cream before? Any of you?
No, never.
They have like a freaking foot of chemicals in your ice cream. Just about anything. You want a good ice cream without the chemicals? Go to Breyers vanilla ice cream. Turn that box around and look at the ingredients on there. You will never go back to another ice cream again.
Oh my God,
I promise you.
Dude.
When you start removing chemicals out of your body, you're just going to start feeling much your body feels cleaner.
What?
Your body feels cleaner. When you get all those chemicals out, your breath, it stays fresher longer. You don't have, some people go out and work and they really stinky. When you don't have all those chemicals in your body, a lot of those weird off-putting smells, believe it or not, go away.
Oh, lady, I can see what you smell like right now. I can see it. I can see what you smell like. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, even your farts don't even smell the same.
What?
They literally smell farts. Off-putting smells, believe it or not, go away. I mean, even your farts don't even smell the same. Smell the same. Don't even smell the same. Farts don't even smell the same. Even your farts don't even smell the same. Even your farts don't even smell the same. They literally smell like roses.
Literally. They literally smell like roses.
Oh, yes, our country is in trouble. Yep. Breyers is 105 ice cream. Born in the 60s. Jody knows what I'm talking about. Why is there chemicals in food? Good question, Merja, because
this should be Rick. We pause this. True Crime Dime, thank you. 5 feet 2, 220 pounds at least in vapes, but okay.
United States requires them to go through all these processes to find out when their food spoils.
Okay, no, that's not why. That's not why there's so many chemicals in fruit. Okay. The reason why, and like I always say, the answer to 99 out of 100 questions, people, is money. Corporations know how to be to be less costly in order to turn a profit, which is the point of owning a business. It's exactly the point. Okay. So these chemicals are a economic alternative. They make the production for their product cheaper so that they make more money. That's why. Yes, there are preservatives, but yes, those preservatives, the purpose of those preservatives is to turn a higher profit. Because the faster it spoils, the less time you have to be able to sell them, to sell the product. So, yes, the purpose of these chemicals is so that these corporations that produce the products that you consume make more money. Simple.
So if they want to pass it, they have to, their food has to be able to be preserved for XYZ days. So it's really our federal government that's making these companies put all these preservatives in it. And not only that, but our companies are wanting stabilizers and preservatives in their food anyways, because something, let me put it like this. Do you know that McDonald's, I think it was, I know it's been since I've been in this house. It's been in the last decade. And I know it wasn't when I first moved in this house. So I would say in the last 5 years, if I'm going off my memory, if my memory serves me correctly, and there was an article about McDonald's. And McDonald's had so much preservatives in their patties. Their patties can last 100 years. That's
Yeah, you eat the shit all the time.
disgusting
It's disgusting, but you eat the shit all the time.
Because they said that they're no longer having to stockpile meat, that we're us as consumers throughout the United States is now eating enough of their meat. They don't need it preserved that many years anymore.
They never did. What? So wait a second. So at one point, McDonald's needed to preserve their meat for 100 years. Okay? So that they could stockpile their meat. Right? McDonald's had to stockpile their meat so that they could hold on to it for 100 years. But now, okay, are you with me? McDonald's says, and the federal government, more importantly, says you don't have to stockpile your meat for 100 years anymore because you sell enough meat to where you don't need to stockpile it for 100 years anymore. That's over and done with. The deficit of meat, the 100-year deficit of meat is over with. It's the great soy meat famine that has plagued us for 100 years is now over. So there's no need for them to be able to stockpile no need for them to have to stockpile their meat, which isn't even real meat, by the way.
So they adjusted their preservatives in their meat, but they had so much preservatives in your hamburger patties that hamburger meat could last 100 years.
Bro.
I'm sorry. I don't know where you're from, but don't you dare try to serve me 100-year-old meat.
But you eat it all the time.
I don't care how well preserved it was. And furthermore, if they can preserve meat,
Man, I'm so glad. I got to tell you guys, I'm really, really glad that they finally got this cow situation under control, because there's fucking cows everywhere. Now that this deficit is over, now they could start going back to slaughtering cows, because they had 100-year stock of meat. Okay, so there was no need to slaughter, I guess, all of these slaughterhouses and all of these beef companies. These beef companies were just, out of business. But now we've got that industry back up and running, because the 100-year deficit's over. The 100 years that this meat was being stored is now being used. It's okay. We can go back to the beef industry making a profit and actually being a thing now, because the 100-year storage of beef has already gone. They've gone through it.
that
Eureka.
much. Why haven't they made a preservative for the human? Why do I have wrinkles on my head? If they can keep meat good for 100 years, why don't I have the smoothest skin in a million years?
What?
Why don't you instead of putting it in my meat, you could put it in my face, please.
Put it in my face.
I'm just joking. I don't want your stinking preservatives. Be careful, sec 2, number 1. Be careful, because Mike Stevens will beat you up over some McDonald's now.
Bro, you'll beat people up over McDonald's.
Mike Stevens loves McDonald's.
So do you.
So much so, if you don't agree, Doc,
What?
there is a Big Mac heading your way. Fruity Pebbles. Oh, that's cute.
What?
Oh, Fruity Pebbles, can I have? Oh God, it's another idiot.
I can't ignore the comment that she has highlighted there. I just noticed it. This person just said this right here is a reflection of the type of audience that she attracts. Just read that comment. This person actually said and sent it. I actually would sleep better if my child was behind bars than on the streets with gangs. Like, have you ever seen a prison movie? Why would you want your kid in that position? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, lady? Wow.
don't see why you guys enjoy yourself coming over here trying to gaslight stuff. That's so stupid. Do you guys ever sit back and say how childish it is? Like, just literally, I'm sure you're an old person. I'm an old person, so you're probably my age or older. Do you really get off on coming in here? Like, you were so juvenile. It's embarrassing. And I know why you have to hide by Fruity Pebbles now. Because if anybody knew who you were, it would
Oh, here
even
we
be
go.
more of an embarrassment.
Wow. Like
Let
everybody
me
is
guess,
always
don't go to church.
like, if it's a sock account, dude, it's either toast or queen bee, guaranteed.
Cuss a lot. Have a cigarette hanging out of your mouth right now. Right? Probably stuffing your face with pastries. Maybe.
Okay. At least whoever you're talking about hasn't shoved chocolate up their ass in their sleep and woke up with it. Like, you literally went on a live stream and, I just woke up fucking naked with chocolate all over my ass. I don't know what the fuck happened. I have no memory of it. You're talking about somebody eating a pastry? Yeah, and she totally just described Molly too, which is really funny.
I like white. Oh, Edward. Yuck. Last time I had White Castle, I had more grease on my face and fingers than I've like literally picked it up, and it's like dripping grease. And
I fucking reviewed you eating Checkers in bed. Like, you're sitting here and you're wondering, I don't understand. I'm going to switch streaming services because I got to get up my viewership. I don't understand. Like, maybe don't fucking talk about fast food being gross after you fucking made everybody watch you stuff your face with Checkers, dude. Like, dude, McDonald's is if you live in Florida and you ever eaten Checkers, dude, McDonald's is a step up. Okay, it is. And I love Checkers. Okay, I love McDonald's too. But I'm telling you, Checkers is like, okay, Checkers is the same thing as Rallies. It's the same menu. It's because it's the same company. Checkers and Rallies, same company. So in your area, you might have Rallies instead of Checkers. But Checkers is like the greasiest fries that you've ever seen in your life. Like, almost dripping with grease. And they're just covered. Back in the day, before they banned it, they were covered with MSG, just covered in it. In the 90s, it was just this seasoning. Now, it's delicious. Don't get me wrong. But don't talk about how bad the food is that you are stuffing in your face and making us all watch you eat.
I'm like, I was so hungry. I'm like, I was I was so hungry. I was so
Did you say something about being juvenile, Betty?
hungry. All I could do
You're
was
right.
just pour a crap load of ketchup on the burger and eat it. I couldn't do it. White Castle burger. I mean, maybe the ones that you get from the store, the frozen ones. But going to the restaurant, and I went to 2 different White Castles, and that must just be how they
Shut up.
LOL belly bombers. What's White Castle? It's a little and they're they're just little finger food. In my it's a little bit bigger than finger food. In my it's a little bit bigger than finger food. In my it's a little bit bigger than finger food, but it's not like your traditional burger. It's like a little square, like like the Hawaiian rolls that we have for like
Dude,
Thanksgiving and
this
stuff.
is mind-numbing, her explaining what a White Castle burger is. Bro, it's a slider, dude. That's it. It's a small burger.
The little squares. They're like
Yeah, like you either have White Castle in your area or you have Crystals.
the bread is
thing.
like that, so it's like a little slider that you eat. Isn't greasy in Michigan? Well, I need to come to Michigan, Misty, because I'm telling you, I went to even in Las Vegas, White Castle there, food greasy as hell. I can't I know the bad fats and all that, and then of course the bread and everything. So I know when I'm eating a burger that I'm already eating a bunch of calories, and I have accepted it if I decide to eat a burger, right?
Like,
so, but when I go to, I don't want to see grease dripping off my burger.
fucking I do. Like, if I go into a place that calls the burger that they have a coronary, I'm like, I hit the spot, bro. Straight up. Like that shit, if it's got fucking bacon and an egg in it, I'm like, this is the best burger right here. This is the best burger spot in town, for sure.
That's kind of it. I don't mind a juicy burger, but when the bread.
What the fuck do you think the juice in a burger is, bro? Lady, I don't want a greasy burger. I want a juicy burger. You think that that's fucking juice? It's grease, dude. The fuck are you talking about? When somebody says, I had a big fat juicy burger, that means I had a big fat fucking greasy burger, dude. It was greasy as fuck. Shit was dripping down. It was making the cheese runny and dripping down my arm, and I was licking it off, and I was in fucking heaven. That's what they mean when they had a big fat juicy burger, is that it was greasy as fuck. That's what it means.
Bread is soggy with grease. Anyways. I digress. Kosher chicken
I like a
and
juicy
beef
burger, but
are
not a
delicious.
greasy burger.
Yes. I'm on keto.
No, you're not.
And have never been healthier. Well, great, sweetie pie.
That's
and I've
trying
heard
to tell her
a lot of
something.
keto friendly recipes, even in the sweet department. My friend made, you might want to look into it, but my friend made key lime, these little key lime pie tartlets. And I couldn't believe it.
I don't care.
Cocktail sauce than you do.
Okay.
You can tell the difference. You can tell the difference. But I will tell you, seafood is by far, if you want to eat seafood, you could just eat about as much. It's almost like
I love seeing somebody.
Vegetables and fruit. You could eat.
I love seeing somebody who is visibly not eating right. Like everything about her shows that she's not eating right. Her hair's not even healthy. Nothing about her looks healthy at all. And she's talking about eating right. I love it. This is fantastic to me.
Like if you want to lose and not have calories, most vegetables and fruit take more calories to burn them up inside your body than the actual calories.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So there are some foods that even without exercise burn more calories. You can be sitting here like a cucumber.
Oh my God.
You know, it takes more calories to digest a cucumber than the actual calories of the cucumber that you ate. That's food that's working for you. That's food that's metabolizing in your system and burning additional calories.
What?
Just to digest. Amazing. So you've got your fruits and you've got your vegetables, and
she's right. Like there are certain things that have more calories. So when you are not moving, because your body is always burning calories. That's true. Like even in your sleep, you're burning calories. Okay. But of course, depending on how many calories that food has, your body's going to have trouble burning certain calories, more trouble burning certain calories than others, or more trouble burning the calories in food, the food that you ate, than others. I get that, but like she's sitting here saying that it's a question of sorry, 5150 YouTube Street. Thank you so much, Will. Only God knows what she is talking about. Exactly. Like, dude, see, lazy people think like this. Okay? Lazy people think like this. Eat less, move more. That's the way you simply need to think. Denise R., I got you. Have a cocktail just listening to this drunk. Thank you so much. Brianna 25, thank you again. If we start talking about her BMs and her sciatica, I'm out of here, I swear. Dude, like it's simple. You have to be careful about what you eat if you want to lose weight. And you have to just simply be careful in your diet. Obviously, yes, you want to eat food with less calories because the food with less calories is going to burn quicker if you're dieting. And exercise is going to help you burn those calories faster. It's very, very simple. It's real easy. So lazy people who don't want to exercise will sit there and make all of these fucking ridiculous excuses. But it's simple. Like if you simply like try to like Like, here she is talking about shrimp, right? She's talking about seafood, and you can eat all the seafood you want and you'll be fine. That's wrong.
Typically, there's not a whole lot of points in it, but seafood, you can eat almost just as much seafood. If you can find a fish, a certain type of crab you like, shrimp, all low calorie, like super low. Like you can eat a bag of shrimp for like, I don't know, it'll fill you up for a half a day. And
Okay. Listen, for those of you who are paying attention, okay, and those of you who are trying to lose weight, okay, the thing is about seafood, it all depends on how you cook it. Yes, seafood doesn't have typically fat, okay? It's all protein, it's all meat, it's all protein, right? Shrimp, she's right about as far as that goes. But the problem is that her idiot subscribers are going to go out and they're going to sit down at a restaurant and then they're going to eat a shit ton of fried shrimp. It means dick if you're eating deep fried breaded shrimp because it's full of carbs and it's full of fat. And they fucking fry that shit in vegetable oil, which is really fattening, like really fattening. So unless you're just taking shrimp and boiling it, basically, you're not going to lose weight. And if you're dipping it in cocktail sauce, yes, it's fattening and you're not going to lose weight. Like, there's no shortcuts. I'm telling you people right now, if you're trying to lose weight, there is no shortcuts. You have to simply eat food that tastes bland because it is low or non-existent in calories, and you have to exercise. It's that simple. If you want a six-pack, you have to, it doesn't matter how many crunches you do, doesn't matter how many sit-ups you do, doesn't matter how many ab workouts you do. All you're doing is building muscle in your abs, but you're not burning the fat. You're not flattening your abs. You have to actually move. You have to exercise. You have to do cardio. Okay? You have to actually do cardio to burn the fat. There's no way around it. And it doesn't matter what kind of cardio you do. You could walk as long as you're walking at a pace to where you sweat from the exertion. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes. Doesn't matter. But you have to diet. You have to diet and you have to move, or else you're not going to lose weight.
It's literally like 100 calories. You have more in the cocktail sauce than you do in the actual calories from the shrimp.
Unless you fry it, which you're not telling your audience is what you need to do.
My whole family
is not fry it. Simply boil it. That's it.
Loves seafood.
That's
I
gonna be
know,
bland.
and it sucks that it's so expensive, but it's worth it. Like and not only that, but now that I got a food sealing machine in here, so because it's just me and I've been having a hard time cooking because I cook such big meals. Half of my meals are thrown out, and I hate wasting food. So I've been eating a lot of crap food,
McDonald's.
It's easier for me to go up and get the $1 burger than sit here and tear the whole kitchen apart and cook food and then have half of it go to waste. Now that I got the food sealing machine, I'm going to start cooking meals throughout the week.
No, you're not.
And sealing them.
No, you're not.
And putting them in the freezer and pulling them out.
See, this is the same mentality that she thinks that getting a food sealer is going to be the ticket to eating healthy. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop eating garbage. That's it. That's it. That's the trick. Stop eating garbage and exercise. Go out and walk. That's it. It's real simple. You don't even have to join a gym. Stop eating crap and go out and walk. And yes, cooking it. You're sitting here and you're talking about cooking. I guarantee you're fucking dumping oil, butter, all kinds of shit all over your food because you're going out and eating fast food. So your standards for flavor are already high. You're not going to eat something that tastes like shit. And the only way you're going to eat healthy is if it's lower in your standards for flavor and taste. There's no other way around it. You can't escape it. Dieting fucking sucks, but there's no way to lose weight without doing it. I promise you that. There's no shortcut. It's just how it is.
During the week, so I'm not having to do all that prep. I only have to do the prep one day, and I've got food for the whole week.
Yeah,
so
and I wonder how much
I don't know.
she puts in her
we'll
coffee.
See how that works. Don't know, but we will be calling. I just want to tell everybody. Also, we got 422 people in the chat, so go ahead and like this. I want to tell you all. Have a wonderful Easter. I'm not going to be live tomorrow. I was thinking about going live. And with it being the Easter holiday, while I'd want to be with you guys all on Easter, I just would like to have my Easter for myself this year. So I'm also going to be.
Okay, wait. What? Now, I admit, I'm not doing shit for Easter. You know what I mean? For me, I mean, yes, do I appreciate the fact that Jesus rose from the dead? Absolutely. That's amazing. That's great. And I love that. I grew up Catholic. Yes, that's great. But for me, it's for the kids, the rabbits, they're the bunny rabbits and the eggs and all that shit. That's for the kids, when you get to be older, I don't know, man, my family never was like, we're getting together for Easter. We were just like, dude, the kids are all grown up now. I don't have to buy an Easter basket now. Cool. That's sweet. I'm not doing jack shit tomorrow. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. But I'm not sitting here going, I'm gonna have my own Easter. I'm gonna put plastic eggs and have a hunt, even though I know where I hid the eggs. I'm having my own Easter tomorrow.
Traveling tomorrow throughout the state of Florida, and want to make sure that I'm not committed to any kind of live. I may decide to come live. If there's any breaking news today or anything like that, I will go live again. And it looks like we will be doing away with StreamYard, which kind of that have all been set up. All the ones that I've made, I don't even know where those videos are anymore. So I've got to try to find a way to get them off StreamYard and convert it over to Realstream.
What?
A Restream rather.
Wait.
StreamYard. Gotta try to find those up. All the ones that I've made, I don't even know where those videos are anymore. So I've got to try to find a way to get.
They're on your YouTube page. What the fuck are you talking about? They're out there. If you made the videos and put them out on YouTube, unless you privated them, then they're there. What are you talking about? And StreamYard only has so much memory. Like, that's what happened. I didn't even know that until I got like an alert saying your StreamYard is full. And I was like, StreamYard is full of what? And basically it saves your live streams until you run out of space. And like, but you don't like, the only way that would come in handy is if your YouTube got deleted. That's it. If your YouTube got deleted, then you would need the videos that are saved on StreamYard. Other than that, I mean, they're already out there. What the fuck are you talking about?
Them off StreamYard and converted over to Realstream, or Restream rather. And I may just decide to learn more about OBS. So I'm really kind of in this growing pain stage where I just don't know what direction I'm ready to go. So I'm one of those people that don't make knee-jerk reactions. I kind of played the tape through, and I try to get as much information so I know what the pros and the cons of each are before we make a decision, because there's nothing worse than making a decision that's at the detriment of the channel as opposed to being a help to the channel. And I'd hate to get,
That's all you do.
StreamYard, convert over to Realstream, and find out that I just kind of burnt down the house. You know what I'm saying?
That's not going to burn your house
So
down.
I want to make sure that we keep everything
Let me
up
tell you what's
and
going to burn your house
running and
down.
running.
This is what's going to burn your house
Actually,
down.
is with StreamYard, Restream from StreamYard to
Oh my God, she's still doing
my goals for 2023 was, doing something about the nonsense going on here on YouTube. And we're committed to that this year. Now we're committing to covering all the cases that we can cover and everything like that. But if we want the nonsense to stop, we're going to really have to address it and hit it hard. So when that happens, I probably will need some more support from our audience and whatnot.
What? Why would you need more support when trying to take down channels? Is it because you plan on getting a mass flagging campaign going? Maybe? Is that what's going on here?
Aren't you like fluffy? Why are you over here? Why are you over here? You're part of the hit squad for me. You're a failure, Jenny Jen. You are a failure. You can't take me out. You never will. You don't even have the balls to show up anywhere. Keep taking that money, you grifter. What have you done for children? Oh, you can't answer because I just blocked you. That's right. Keep going and tattling on me. Just remember, Oh, here, this is for you, Jenny Jen.
This is what's going to
This
burn
is
your house.
for you.
You doing
This
this
is
shit
from me to you.
to answer your.
Let me tell y'all something. You ain't got to ever worry about getting nobody back for some shit they done did to you. Because quiet as it's kept, everybody working get paid. Let me break that down.
Okay. I find this really interesting because she's using this because it's like, this is for the haters, right? So she's trying to send a message. She's letting everybody know this lady here is my spirit animal and speaking for me. She's speaking my mind. But she just said you don't got to worry about getting nobody back. You don't got to take any type of revenge, right? I mean, but like, why aren't you getting what this person is trying to say here? This person, I love it because she uses these things that are designed to empower her and move her towards a more positive direction. Yet she interprets it in her own way that is totally wrong and not what the person who made the video intended. Not even close.
So you understand what I mean. Everybody working, getting paid. See, some of you motherfuckers don't even know that you're working. But payday comes after a while, bitch. You're being messy, you're working. You're gossiping about people, you're working. You stealing, lying, cheating, or just all around doing some fuck shit, you're working. And payday is on its motherfucking way. Ha ha! Let me tell you.
Okay. Betty, what this person is trying to say in this video is you are always going to be held accountable. If you're doing good things are going to come to you. You cannot deny or avoid what comes to you based on your actions. That is what she's trying to say. Not, hey, if you're doing all kinds of fucked up shit, you get to use the excuse that you're working. Your payday is coming if you are doing fuck shit, as she's putting it. Your payday is coming, meaning you're going to get what's coming to you for doing fuck shit.
Something you working motherfuckers. Some of you bitches got overtime in that bitch too. Ooh, that payout gonna be good. So when you get your check, bitch, don't complain. You worked for it.
That you did. You work for it. And it's and I hate to tell you, but you keep messing around. But maybe you just need some attention. Nobody's paying attention to your channel. You gotta use BHB and everything you got, because you wouldn't get paid without my name, without my clout. Right? Because I am a very valuable person.
Except you're not.
I am a very valuable person.
No.
Got a lot.
We made you valuable. You're welcome.
A lot of connections higher up the food chain than you'll ever even know. Ever even know. You can't do Bullhorn Betty, baby. And
Yikes.
you can't do me better.
What?
You don't like what I do? Good. I hope it triggers you.
Thank you, Hank. I appreciate that.
And I hope you keep going over there and being more of a failure by mass reporting me. Mass report. But
Nobody's mass reporting you.
I've never mass reported anybody. But they're doing it. I've never mass reported anybody. They're doing it. I've never mass reported anybody. But they're doing it. I've never mass reported anybody.
Yeah.
I bet you have.
No.
I bet you violated terms of service, but you keep trying to say I am. But don't worry, baby. I'm sure you're gonna get your paycheck sooner or later. I'm sure you'll get your paycheck sooner or later. So just sit there. Let me offend you a little more. We know you need attention. We know you need some new subs because you wouldn't be over here unless you did.
All right, please say it.
Oh, here, let me get rid of you too. We hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Blue is now departing. Please buckle up and make sure everyone knows that Mr. Blue is now departing the airport. Glare International. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Hear about you back there in those backgrounds. There we go. There we go. And I did that. My mods didn't even have to do that. Happily did that. 'Cause I'm sick and tired of listening to your shit. So, on the heels of haters, we pray for them too. We pray for them too.
Pray for him.
My God died for you too.
Oh my God, dude.
So hopefully you repent for your sins.
Wow.
I really do hope you do.
Thank you.
And it's a shame that you guys find.
I'm not even Christian. Okay? I'm not even Christian. And my invite to Betty stands. I'll even throw in, let's have a Bible discussion. Let's discuss your knowledge of the Bible. I would love that.
This to be comical for you. But then again, it shows more about you than it does about us. But go ahead and keep mass reporting Bullhorn
Nobody's
Betty.
mass reporting you.
And let me give you a reason to mass report Bullhorn Betty, because you guys seem to think that this is how you mass report Bullhorn Betty. So let me give you some things to mass report me about. There's your leader right there. There's mugshot 1.
Oh, why do you have printouts?
Violent woman.
Why
Likes to
do
take
you
crowbars
have
and
printouts?
4 ways and chase people down and try to beat them up. She likes to beat people up and commit felonies.
For my true crime people, okay? For my true crime people, this is how you prove premeditation, okay? Because here's Betty saying, all I want is to be taken seriously as a true crime channel. I don't want nothing to do with the drama, none of that shit. We're not a drama channel. We don't do that. But she printed these things out for what purpose? What could possibly be the purpose of her printing out those mugshots? Maybe to show them on her live stream that she's trying to convince everyone she's a true crime channel and not a drama channel? Right. Okay.
In front of her children. In 2019, she likes to beat up her neighbors in her neighborhood. In 2021,
Bro, her talking about anybody's record is hilarious to me, dude.
She likes to beat up another neighbor. Right? Here. Why don't you go ahead and mass flag me? Go ahead and mass flag me. This is from a FOIA request, by the way.
Now, what she's doing now
Public
is not
record that was sent.
what she's doing right now is not violation of TOS. I want to be clear about that. I mean, if there's mugshots, there's mugshots. You can show mugshots. We showed her mugshots. I made merch with her mugshots and donated it to a domestic violence charity. I mean, there's nothing against TOS about showing mugshots. But the point is that she's a hypocrite.
To me by Galesburg Police Department, but go ahead. We'll keep going. Because I'm gonna look at this, man. This is when she was prostituting and out there with all that.
Now,
that
that's
ugly.
the thing is, what she's doing though is possibly slander, because she's not showing the police record, which is public record. She's not showing any of these things. She's just showing mugshots and then making up her own narrative and saying this is what she was arrested for without showing any receipts. But it's totally irrelevant. And I'll explain why. It's irrelevant for her to go over these things because Queen Bee is not up here claiming to be an advocate for children. I mean, she's just simply not. Queen Bee is not up here claiming to be an advocate for kids. She might be calling you out on your bullshit, but she's not up here claiming to be an advocate for anybody. She runs a channel that has a bunch of people on her panel, and then they talk about people on YouTube, which is perfectly what everyone else fucking does. I mean, what we all in this part of this community do. But her reason for talking about you is because you are a liar and a hypocrite. Now, I don't know everything that she's ever talked about. I don't know, honestly. But all I know is JLR doxed her, and then she jumped on that bandwagon, and here she is thinking that Restream is going to be the answer to why people don't watch her. But this is why people don't watch her, because she has spent countless hours trying to make herself out to be someone who is making a positive difference in her personal community, federally, everything. She's doing everything she can to make a positive difference. But here she is robbing her viewers of what they logged on for, because her viewers have logged on for what she promised them. Now she is giving her real viewers what they're wanting, because as soon as I saw this bullshit, I was like, this is fucking classic Betty Gold. More shit to go over. That's all it was. More shit to go over. More of Betty being a complete and total utter hypocrite and completely full of shit, which is fucking entertaining. Period. But that's what people log on for. As I stated before, she does the crime stuff and she doesn't get any viewership almost at all. And she sees this and she knows it. That's why she resorts to this point. Because at one point she was blowing through a bullhorn and she had 1,000 people in her chat watching her. Now she's only got 400. And she's pissed about it. But she also knows that the reason why she has anybody watching her is because they're waiting for her to pull shit like this. Betty, the answer to your problem is not your streaming service. It's your content. Just embrace the fact that you're a fucking drama channel. Because you're still trying to use it to gain viewership. See, this isn't that, it isn't like she isn't aware that this drama isn't bringing her views. She knows it. Otherwise, she wouldn't fucking do it. And she's doing it right now.
She was heading home to take care of her children in this condition. At least that's what she told the law enforcement officer. And she left her children home alone. Great mom. Great mom. Great mom.
Bro, you were arrested
here.
running around the street with no
She's
pants.
happy.
What are you talking about?
She's happy with this arrest.
We need to talk about your fucking mugshots. Seriously?
She's happy with this arrest.
Like,
Frequently. And they tell me as long as I don't violate terms of service, you guys can do whatever the hell you want. They'll put me right back on up.
see, that's
So
the thing.
here.
She doesn't realize that this isn't what we
Let's just keep
say
going.
is a violation.
Oh, wow.
This isn't what we say is a violation of terms of service. What she's planning on doing in Georgia is a violation of terms of service. When you victimize people, when you show up and interfere with ongoing investigations, YouTube isn't going to want a partnership with somebody like that. And as soon as it comes back around to where they focus on her and start taking a close look at her channel like they did with MGL, she's going to be gone just as quick. Now it's going to take some time. It took how many years for MGL to get booted off? It's going to take some time, but it will happen. Guaranteed. It'll happen.
Oh, I got more. Definitely more mug shots than you guys got for me.
What a fucking idiot.
Look, maybe I won't find any.
Okay.
But we definitely found this
You
one.
get the point. So let me look up something here that I found funny. All right. Oh my God, dude. Blank screen puts so much shit up that it's hard to fucking like look. People. Now, damn, I can't zoom in on it. But if you look at her mugshots there, she's smiling and making weird faces in all of them. And she was talking about somebody being happy about being arrested. Like, the fact that she has the audacity. Now I could see somebody that she follows pointing that shit out. You know what I mean? But she doesn't get to do that. Out of all people, you don't get to talk about looking like you're enjoying being arrested when all of your mugshots is you being like, which is like all of your mugshots. And you're sitting here talking about somebody looking happy when they got arrested. And you're talking, you're making things up when everybody who's ever talked about you has brought receipts. Everybody, we've read your police reports out loud, everything. One of them, you weren't even wearing pants and you were running around in the street and you threatened a cop. And yet you take no accountability for it and call it a lie. But these mug shots that you're showing of supposedly Queen Bee, that they're, they're gospel for some reason. That's you expect us to believe just your narrative that you're adding to these mug shots about this person. There's a reason why nobody gives a fuck about you saying those things about her. Have you noticed that it's brought no results? That it doesn't matter. It hasn't phased her or the people on her panels. It hasn't phased her at all. Because you're not bringing any it hasn't phased anybody who likes Queen Bee because you haven't brought any facts with it. Like, you could deflect all you want. And I'm not up here defending Queen Bee. I'm just saying I don't know shit about her. I don't want to know shit about her because it doesn't fucking matter. She's not up here advocating for claiming to be an advocate for children. She's not up here saying that she's doing such important work for the people. She's not doing that shit. She's running a channel and letting people sit up on her panel and talk. That's all she's doing. That's all. I could care less about that person. I could care less about their life and what it's like outside of YouTube. Hell, I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't care about her channel. You know what I mean? She's not up here claiming to be an advocate for victims and children and then turning around and doing fucked up things. You are. That's why people are focused on you, Betty. These aren't haters. These are people that are like, dude, you are doing fucked up shit. Stop. That's all that's going on. But you have to have this blowback and like, oh my God, how dare anybody call me out on this stuff? It's because you are a fucking liar and a hypocrite and a person who just does nothing but victimize innocent people. And yes, innocent people, law enforcement officers, people who have made a career. Thank you so much, Little Minx, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. People who have made a career to get justice for victims, and you have the audacity to criticize how they do their job when you don't have the first slightest clue on what it takes to do that job. I mean, that's why people call you out on it. Calamity Jade, thank you so much. I hope the words on your shirt, the name of the song you wrote. Oh man. Thank you so much, Calamity Jade. You sat up here and you screamed and yelled at the house of a suspect who was made public that she was a person of interest in the death of an infant child. Technically a toddler. But under the guise of advocating for this kid, you were victimizing and tarnishing the name of the chief of police who was doing everything that he could, despite all of the public pressure, staying focused and getting justice for that little boy and the community that demanded it. You didn't do anything to help that situation. You just made it more difficult, and you trash talked and slandered this man, saying he wasn't doing his job. And while you were doing that, he was out there producing results. And here you are saying, we're going to go out there and do it all over again. Yeah. And I'll be talking about it. Rachel Lee, thank you so much. Betty is a stampeding water buffalo. Yeah. I'm going to be right here going over it. And one of these days when you're handcuffed and hauled off to jail, one of these days when John Atalia, your buddy, gets handcuffed and hauled off to jail, I'm going to be there and I'm going to be covering it. And I'm going to be like, see? See? So mark my words, when it happens, I will be there. Folks, I'm going to wrap this up. I had a lot of fun with you guys tonight. I hope you guys have a fantastic Easter tomorrow. I love you very, very, very much, and I appreciate all your support, and all the new subscribers and all the likes. It's pretty awesome that you guys actually give a shit and logged on here, and I'm glad that we are enjoying each other's company. I am really enjoying that, so thank you so much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.